The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, we are live once again. I didn't think I was going to go live today. I was supposed to go live, and then I was supposed to go somewhere else, and then now I wound up, having to go live now. So it is what it is, man. But happy November to everybody out there. I hope everybody had a great October. I know I had a great October, and we're going to have an even better November here on True School Sports. I'm looking forward to this being one of the most special months, not just in boxing, but one of the most special months in my life. You know what I'm saying? And we got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of great topics and things to talk about in the sport today. A lot of moving pieces, a lot of things that we definitely got to talk about, man. There's so much to talk about, man. I mean, obviously it's Canelo-Plant fight week, so we're gonna get to that because I gotta start talking my shit, man. We're gonna start talking our trash about Canelo versus Plant. But let's start off with, and by the way, if you're here right now, make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you leave a comment. If you're watching the playback, do the same thing. Smash the like button, leave a comment, do all that good stuff, man, and that would all be greatly appreciated. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, listen, man, we got some movement. We got some developments in the Rolando Romero, Gervonta Davis fight. You guys can definitely not expect Rolly to fight because it's just been announced today that Rolly will not be the opponent any longer for Gervonta Davis. Now, this isn't like a big surprise to us because this has been something that this has been a thing that's been developing for a while since the whole thing with the allegations came out with the girls accusing him and whatnot. So now he's got to go fight his own battles outside the ring, probably legally in court. And that's his battle to fight. That's his cross to bear. He made some mistakes. It is what it is. But they have found a replacement opponent. And I want to check the temperature of the boxing world. I want to see what you guys think about this. They have found a replacement opponent. And it's coming in the form of the Mexican fighter that people affectionately refer to as the Pitbull. And that's Isaac Cruz. Yes, Isaac Cruz, man. A world-ranked contender, exciting fighter. Always comes to fight. Always brings his best and gives it his best effort. So, it's going to be a really, really fun fight. I don't think there was much better they could do in terms of, opponents. But, I'm happy with Cruz. Cruz is good. We'll get to that in a second. But let's get to some comments. My main man, Brendan50 says, I was looking forward to it. Rolly is innocent. Tank and Plant are my favorite fighters. And Rolly, yeah, man. I mean, I like Plant. Plant of those three that you named is probably my favorite. Tank, I like Tank. I'm a fan of Tank. I'm a fan of Rolly, but I wouldn't class them as my favorite, You feel me? But, yeah, it's your boy BT. Listen, this is a good fight. Now, a lot of people may not know a lot about Isaac Cruz and what exactly is Isaac Cruz bringing to the table. But, this is a guy in Cruz that's been tested. Fought some good fighters on the way up. Worked his way up like a lot of Mexican fighters do, boxing on those really tough Mexican club shows, which I would say, Mexican club shows can sometimes be the hardest in boxing. But from that point forward, he made his American debut against Miguel Angel Perez Aspuro, beat him by UD, had a very tough fight with the very game, very durable, and very formidable Thomas Matisse, who, by the way, Thomas Matisse is fighting this Friday on the Michaela Mayer undercard as the co-main event. He'll be taking on Luis Melendez. He won that fight by a majority decision. Then he had his breakout performance last year, and I was actually in the crowd for this fight. He knocked out Diego Magdaleno in one round, and since then he's had two workman-like performances against the undefeated Jose Matias Romero, who recently lost to Michelle Rivera, and now he beat old Francisco Vargas. So not a bad fighter, but honestly, I think because of how great the buildup was to this fight, because of the way that Rolly helped sell this fight and the animosity and the bad blood there was, it's a bit of an anticlimactic change. You know what I'm saying? I like Pitbull Cruz. I saw him fight in person his last fight. He comes to fight. And, shout out to my main man Usam, the fanboy killer, the fanboy filler, the fanboy killer. My man Usam. Shout out to him out there in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. I disagree with you. I don't think Isaac Cruz is a better fighter than Rolly. I think Isaac Cruz is a more experienced fighter than Rolly. I think Isaac Cruz has probably shown a bit better of himself in his performances recently than Rolly, but I don't think he has more ability and I don't think he has more skills than Rolly. That's my opinion. I really think this fight was going to be a tough fight for Tank, and it's unfortunate because Isaac Cruz, he's one of these guys that he's going to come in the high guard, he's going to load up on every shot, and he'll be there to be hit. And I think Tank should beat him, but Rolly, I feel like, believe it or not, has more tools than you guys think. He's an exceptionally athletic fighter. Can box a little bit, can definitely punch. He's just one of those fighters that hasn't been able to fully put it together in any of his fights so far, but he does got ability, and you take these things into consideration when you get a guy like Rolly who's a lot more green compared to the top of the guys in the weight class, because like when you compare his experience as a fighter to that of a Ryan Garcia, to that of a Gervonta Davis, these guys, right? These guys are way more experienced than Rolly, so that's just my opinion. But yeah, December the 5th, save the date. What do you guys think of it? Are you guys giving Isaac Cruz any chance? I truly think he's food for Tank. I think it's the right opponent for him. I don't see this fight going past the 7th round. Isaac Cruz is food for Tank Davis, no defense at all, but he will come to fight. No, he comes to fight. We've seen that in the past. He's been there with some names. He's been there with some good game fighters, but now is his test. Now is his test. And look, I think for Cruz, right, it's a unique opportunity for Isaac Cruz to become the next Mexican star, because Tank Davis is a star in boxing. And if he beats him, he will become a star overnight. So this is the beautiful thing about boxing. In boxing, one day you're a nobody, the next day you're a somebody. That's why you always, as a fighter, you always got to work hard. You always got to be constantly improving, and you always got to stay ready, so you don't got to get ready, because opportunity will come. What's that one song? How it go? It goes, opportunity comes knocking at your door. Opportunity knocks but once and don't come back no more. Grab it in the night, grab it in the day, grab it right now. It'll get away. You better snatch and grab it. That's that old school. Y'all don't know about that. Y'all not old enough or refined enough for that kind of music. But yeah, you got to be ready for opportunity. You have to. And I hope and pray to God that Isaac Cruz has been ready for this opportunity, because Tank is going to be right there to hit him and hurt him. And the good thing is, stylistically, that's the kind of fight that Isaac Cruz wants. He doesn't want somebody, it's funny to say, because I joke around about this with Mexican fighters, but he doesn't want somebody that's going to come around and run around the ring and do all that stuff. No, he wants someone that's going to fight him like a man, Mexican style, toe to toe. And gosh darn it, Tank's going to do that. So I don't think this fight's going to do great. I think this fight is definitely 100% going to bomb at the gate. I don't think this fight's going to do anywhere north of 150,000 buys. I think if this fight does 150,000 pay-per-view buys, that will be considered a massive win, because Isaac Cruz is, yes, he's Mexican, but he's still relatively unknown to a lot of people outside of like the hardcore boxing fans. So it's a tough sell. It truthfully is a tough sell. What do you guys think? Isaac is tough, but I feel like Barrios is a little more skilled and more of a threat to Tank. Tank watches him, in my opinion. Yeah, I can see that, because Barrios has the length. Barrios is taller. Isaac Cruz is a short, compact, power-punching Mexican fighter. And guys like that are made to order for Tank. So I think it'll be good for Tank. Tank will get a highlight reel knockout, and it'll be what it is. But listen, I know with Rolly, right? I know with Rolly, a lot of people are probably saying, like, he's got his own battles to fight outside the ring. But if Rolly can beat the case, like TK did, fuck a beat. I was trying to beat the case, but I ain't beat that case, bitch. I did the race. Listen, if he could beat the case like TK did in that song, well, he didn't really beat the case. His ass is in prison for life. But you know what I'm saying? If he could actually beat the case, and not get punished too badly or too severely for what these girls accused him of, I still want to see Tank versus Rolly. I still think it's a hell of a fight. I don't know. What do you guys think? I want to see that fight. I think Rolly's combination of athleticism, physical strength, stubborn-mindedness, punching power, it's going to give Tank some problems. And I want to see that fight still. I'm still pushing for that fight. Usam said, I just watched the Canelo versus GGG2 press conference. whenever Canelo knows he's up for a tough fight, he looks very tight and gets angry for nothing. Well, hey, listen, man. Hey, you know what? Let the gloves come off. Let's let the gloves come off. All right. I'm letting the gloves come off now. We were nice. We wanted to focus on the fights that were in front of us, but it's Canelo-Plant fight week. So listen, it's November the 6th, Saturday. That cement-footed, overrated, cheating, hype job, Irish-looking, non-Mexican fighter is gonna get punished by Caleb-Plant. He's gonna get punished. I can't wait. I can't wait. All you Canelo dick riders, oh, I can't wait. I'm talking hella shit. Listen, it's not gonna be like Wilder. Because Wilder, you know, when you get beat like that, and people already know you can't box, it's one thing. And you know, how much could you really criticize Wilder? But Canelo, oh my God. Y'all better hope and pray Caleb-Plant don't win this fight, because I will take a break for a whole week just to go on, just to talk shit if Caleb-Plant wins this fight. So you know, it's been a good run. You know, you beat Yildirim, you beat Fielding, you beat Smith, you beat Saunders, you beat all these fighters that everyone and their mother knows, who knows anything about boxing knows, you had no chance of losing to. And this week, you will get exposed. You know, imagine this. Imagine having 60 fights. Imagine having 60 fights in the professional ranks, winning all these world titles, selling all these tickets, selling all these pay-per-views, just to lose to a country boy from Tennessee. You spend 60 fights pussyfooting around the idea of becoming an undisputed champion. You get all the way to that point. You think you're pulling a fast one in the boxing world, thinking that you're going to beat this country boy, and you get schooled by the country boy from Tennessee. Oh, man, it's going to be a scene. It's going to be a scene here on True School Sports. And listen, just so long as I don't go to the fight and don't get tickets to the fight, I will be here live for that fight. We will have Angelo Leo, former WBO world champion, on the live with us. It's going to be a great live. Absolutely. The Gervonta Davis Witness Protection Program. You know what, man? I'm gonna tell you this. I haven't done an episode of the Gervonta Davis Witness Protection Program in a long time. But you know what? For those of you who don't know, I used to have a video series here on True School Sports called the Gervonta Davis Witness Protection Program, and it was this video series that was basically dedicated to calling Gervonta Davis out on his bullshit for not wanting to fight anybody of substance, right? So I haven't done one of those in a while. Do you guys think that I should do an updated installment of the Gervonta Davis Witness Protection Program? Just tell me yes or no in the comments, because I think we might gotta do it. We might gotta do it. Man, they may call him sweet hands, but Canelo will soon realize nothing is sweet when he feels them. Yes, you're damn right. And guess what? You know when he's gonna find out about a Usam? Like Caleb-Plant told you, when it's too late. Yeah. Shout out to my boy, Nemo. He said, "You're crazy if you think Caleb-Plant's gonna win after that press conference bitch slap." Well, I'm glad Canelo Alvarez got that slap in. You know, it's probably gonna be his only highlight of the fight. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you guys get posters of it. I hope you guys have it playing on a monitor in your house over and over again on a loop for the rest of your life, because that ain't happening. He not beating no damn Caleb-Plant. Canelo ain't no Mike Lee. By the way, shout out to Sheehy. Yeah, listen, man. After this performance on Saturday, y'all gonna have to start putting more respect on all the guys on Caleb-Plant's resume. Mike Lee, Jose Uzcategui, who else? Porky Medina. Who else we got? Caleb Truax. Y'all gonna put, after Caleb-Plant beats the shit out of Canelo this Saturday, y'all gonna have to seriously put some respect on his resume. I'm sick of y'all. Y'all want to pull that piece of paper out, but I'm gonna say it like I've always been saying it. Resumes don't win fights. So Canelo Alvarez, he gonna find out come Saturday, and I'm gonna be right here. You know, if Caleb-Plant wins, which I believe he will, I'll be here. If he loses, I'll be here to take criticism. Either way, I'm gonna be here. So I hope to see you guys here. It's going to be a great, just an amazing weekend. Amazing weekend of boxing. But yeah, guys, it's also worth noting. I wanted to read you guys this statement, because Rolly made a post on Instagram about 4 hours ago, and he made a statement, so I wanted to read that. By the way, guys, if you guys see me drinking water, it's because I'm really thirsty. I was shadow boxing for like an hour and a half or so. So I'm trying to just like get rehydrated. So don't mind me. But yeah, Rolly came out with a statement, and Rolly basically said, I'll read you guys what he said. Rolly stated the following, and I quote, "Although the allegations against me are totally false, and I will prove that through the legal system, I agree that it is in the best interest of everyone involved that I not participate in the upcoming pay-per-view event. After clearing my name, I will return to the ring as soon as possible." So what he's basically saying is, look, I've got much bigger things to worry about other than boxing right now at this moment in time. And that's what it is. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take care of this. But just so long as I get this taken care of, I'll be back to fight Tank. OG Boogie, what's good, champ? He says, by the way, you should drink water that has a high content of alkaline. It's better. Well, normally I do, champ, but right now I'm not home in South Florida, so I gotta drink whatever I can get my hands on. Right now, I got this Niagara water, which probably isn't the best, but it'll have to suffice for now. But normally at home in South Florida, I got the jugs, the alkaline water. So I'm definitely in tune. Good to see you, OG Boogie. Man, is that a gold dust picture? Yo, OG Boogie, you a real one. You got a gold dust picture. Shout out to Gold Dust. If you're a wrestling fan, if you know, you know. Do you really think Plant wins? Why would I say it? Why would I say he is gonna win if I didn't believe it? If you're new to this channel, I don't know if you're new to this channel, but everything that I say, whether it's wrong or right, I believe everything. Everything I say that comes out of my mouth, I believe it all. I believe all of it, and I've said it a long time. Caleb-Plant is going to be Canelo Alvarez, and I'll even tell you the score. It'll be a 116-112 unanimous decision. He will get a decision over Canelo Alvarez in Las Vegas. It's on a PBC card. So make of that what you will. Jonathan Simon, what's good, champ? How you living? Good to see you. Man, Rolly got me too. Yeah, he got me too. But look, like I said in my last live, you have to, when it comes to dealing with the fairer sex, the opposite sex, you have to, as a man, always be 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to as many steps ahead of them as possible. You got to be logical. You got to think. You got to think. You got to think. You got to be logical. You can't. You got to work smarter, not harder. At least you know that the only chance Plant has is to run. No, he's not gonna run. There's gonna be some times in this fight where he's gonna sit there and hold his ground, and he's gonna punish Canelo. It's coming, so don't you worry. Don't you worry. And listen, when you find out, it's gonna be too late. This ain't Kenneth Smith. This ain't Avni Yildirim, who's happy to be there. This ain't Kenneth Smith that's happy to be there. They say Billy Joe Saunders, who doesn't live the life of a fighter and wants to try to convince himself that he's gonna win the fight. This is the real deal. Now, if you choose not to believe me, that's okay. If you choose to talk that resume shit, that's okay. But come Saturday night, you're gonna find out. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Caleb-Plant is very marketable. That's what people don't realize. They don't realize it. They don't realize it one bit. I mean, there's not one audience in boxing that he can't appeal to. He's a white American, but he's extremely urban, and he has the Black American culture. He has a story with his daughter, so he appeals to women who are emotional. He's a great fighter. He's a skilled boxer, so a lot of hardcore boxing fans will like him. There really isn't anybody in boxing that Caleb-Plant can appeal to. And if y'all think that he won't get a decision over Canelo Alvarez, I'm telling you right now, straight like this, straight away, he is getting a decision over Canelo Alvarez. So we'll see. If he earns it, Ellie. If he earns it, he's getting it. But shout out to everybody here, man. How was the attendance for the Jamal James versus Boutier fight? It was empty. It was an empty crowd. I went to a fight at that same venue earlier this year when Devin Haney fought Jorge Linares, and it was crazy, bro, because they had the seats, right? They had the seats, and they moved the seats. It looked like they removed some seats because when I went there for the Haney fight, the seats actually extended out further. They extended out further, and they didn't this time. So a lot of things were sectioned off. It wasn't like the biggest crowd. But, there was a lot of people from Minnesota there to support Jamal James, as well as a lot of people there from Philadelphia to support Gervonta Ennis. It was a small crowd, but a spirited crowd. Who's the more impressive boxer, Gervonta Ennis or Shakur Stevenson? That's a hell of a question, man. I think they're both very impressive, but I'll be honest with you, on a fight by fight basis, on a fight by fight performance basis, Gervonta Ennis has been probably the most well-rounded, like one of the most impressive fighters to watch in boxing, because every fight he's delivering sensational performances. Shakur just now delivered a sensational performance, but Ennis, I know you can say the opposition, but Shakur fought the African cop, all right? He fought the African cop Jeremiah, and he didn't look good. He was a quote unquote nobody. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Ennis. Why do you hate Canelo? I don't hate. First of all, let me clarify something, okay? I don't hate Canelo because I can't hate somebody that I don't know personally. So I don't hate Canelo. I hate Canelo's ways, okay? I'm going to say it like this and like this only. I don't like Canelo Alvarez as a boxer because there is no fighter currently fighting in boxing who has been more manufactured and more protected than Canelo Alvarez. I mean, the guy don't want to fight Demetrius Andrade. The guy don't want to fight any Mexicans from his country. I mean, he's the only Mexican fighter in boxing. The only fighter in boxing that's Mexican that says that can actually say, I don't want to fight other Mexican fighters and get away with it. It's corny. He's just corny to me. He's corny. The Matthew Hatton shit, the stuff he pulled before the first Golovkin fight. I mean, I could go on and on and on about why I don't like Canelo Alvarez. But the main reason, and the reason that trumps them all, is his inability to deal with Demetrius Andrade properly. His open ducking of Demetrius Andrade is the main reason and the foundational reason of why I don't like Canelo Alvarez. Now, I'm not so much in my feelings that I'm not going to sit here and say that he's not a good fighter. I'm not going to sit here and say that he's not a good boxer. I'm not going to sit here and say he's not an elite boxer, because he is an elite boxer. You have to acknowledge those things. Otherwise, you're just being a hater. But, it's America. It's the land of the free, the home of the brave. And I'm entitled to like Canelo. I'm entitled to dislike Canelo Alvarez if I want to. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like. We'll see. Hold on. I see some interesting comments. By the way, shout out to everybody here. Is Tank a cherry picker? Yes. I like Tank, but yes, he is. Absolutely. Been fighting smaller dudes, dragging them up in weight. Needs to fight somebody. I mean, to be fair, Isaac Cruz is a ranked 35-pounder, so this is actually a better fight than most of the guys that he's really fighting. Canelo is going to body Plant badly. Plant does not have the Saunders jab. Plant has a better jab than Plant has a better jab than Saunders, a faster jab than Saunders, a longer jab than Saunders, and you're gonna find out come Saturday. All y'all gonna find out come Saturday. I can't wait. I can't remember the last time I was this excited for a fight. Wacky Movie Clip says, "Damn, bro, I'm really disappointed that Willie won't get his shot against Tank. I really gave him a great chance to win that one. Yeah, it would have been a hell of a fight. It would have been a great test for him. It would have been a dangerous fight for Tank, more than people realize. And he blew it. He blew it. Sometimes in life, things happen to you at the worst possible time, and that's why you gotta always, day by day, just strive to live the best way you can. And honestly, look, I'm not here to push my beliefs on anybody, but I feel like the best way you could live a grounded life is to follow the Lord, man. Follow Jesus Christ, man. He's the way, the truth, and the life. He's the only way you're gonna escape from all this nonsense going on in the world, and he's really your only chance of living a decent life, an honorable life behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion. That's been my experience. But whatever you guys' beliefs are, I respect you guys. Yoasis, what's good, champ? Kingdom Cuts Barbershop. He said Gervonta Ennis. Gervonta Ennis is that guy. BT, doesn't that sound like Floyd Money Mayweather? Who? What, Canelo? Nah. Floyd actually had to earn. There came a point where Floyd started pulling BS too, but Floyd actually had to earn his way to get to the position he was at. He still had to fight a De La Hoya. He had to fight a Diego Corrales. He had to fight a Junior Hernandez. Canelo Alvarez became a star. Part of the reason why Canelo Alvarez became a star so quickly was because he piggybacked. He piggybacked off of Floyd Mayweather's being on his undercards, stuff like that. Floyd Mayweather, if you go back and you look at the undercards that Floyd was fighting on, Floyd wasn't fighting on no Oscar De La Hoya undercards. He was fighting on other fighters' undercards, so he didn't get that luxury like Canelo did. Realistically speaking, Canelo murks Andrade. No, he won't. He will never beat. First of all, he won't beat Demetrius Andrade. And if he feels some type of way, and if you feel some type of way about it, then his bitch ass is on the contract. His punk ass is on. If he feels that way, tell his punk ass is on the contract. That's really where I'm at with that. If Canelo Alvarez really feels that Demetrius Andrade is a horrible fighter, the same way he feels like Caleb-Plant's not on his level. Okay, when he blasts Caleb-Plant, which he won't, out of the ring on Saturday, fight Demetrius Andrade. Whether you win, lose, or draw against Caleb-Plant, fight Demetrius Andrade because I'm sick of you. I'm sick of you. MB Boxing, what's good, champ? Shout out to my guy, MB Boxing Official. Make sure you guys go subscribe to MB Boxing Official. In my opinion, Pitbull Cruz is a better opponent than Rolly. Well, we'll see, man. I don't think he is. And listen, I just think his offense is too predictable. At least, like Rolly, he's not a conventional fighter, and he does do some things technically that are wrong, but that's why I think it makes the fight more interesting because he's not a conventional style. He's longer than Tank. He's way more athletic than Pitbull Cruz. Pitbull Cruz is going to gas out after 4 or 5 rounds. I promise you. It's about money, and Andre don't make money. Bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. Canelo Alvarez has reached a point in boxing where he could fight anybody he could fight anybody in this comment section. He could fight you. He could fight me. He could fight Yoasis. He could fight Flo Jabs. He could fight Kingly 33 Mac. He could fight whoever it is, and he's gonna sell. That's where he's at because people want to see him. People are gonna pay their hard money to see him fight. So all that money talk about he doesn't make no money. Okay, he may not make no money fighting Jason Quigley, but guess what? The Canelo fans hate Demetrius Andrade. So guess what? The Canelo fans are going to pay to see Canelo Alvarez fight him. Come on, man. Let's be real here. Y'all just don't want to see Canelo lose. Some of y'all got Canelo Alvarez as no boxing, no life, soap dispensers in your bathroom. You got Canelo Alvarez, no boxing, no life, action figures in your living room. And that's okay. You know, go to your bathroom. Go use your no boxing, no life soap dispenser. But don't sit here and act like these aren't fights that should happen. Like, name me another fighter in boxing who is an undefeated multiple division world champion that actually has it, that actually has to have all these different types of credentials to fight another champion. Normally, if a guy is an undefeated 2-division world champion, the fights just freaking happen. They happen. So, too much craziness and evil in this world. Be optimistic and or have faith. Absolutely. You got to have faith. Got to have faith. So Yildirim generated money for Canelo. Yeah, I'm sure Yildirim generated a lot of money with all that Turkish television money they made. I'm sure the Turkish television money generated so much money for Canelo that they just had to make the fight. You know, why did Canelo fight him, but Andre can't? Nothing but bullshit excuses when you Canelo fans. Hey, look, it'll be more bullshit excuses when Caleb-Plant boxes his freaking ears off and shocks the whole world. I can't wait. He's never gonna fight Boo Boo, and guess what? Whether he wins this week or whether he loses this week, I'm bringing it up. He could win, I'm bringing it up. He can lose, I'm bringing it up. Because you can't call yourself the best fighter in the world and openly duck another guy that's been in your weight class multiple times. You know, when you've been in prime position to fight this guy multiple times. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't say I'm the best fighter in the world, but then you duck undefeated champions for over half a decade. Fuck out of here. We're not having that. Y'all got me fired up. I'm trying not to curse. Y'all got me fired up, man. Y'all got me fired up. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm having fun already. It's only Monday, and I'm already having fun. But listen, man, I'm looking forward to seeing Isaac Cruz. Seeing what he can bring to the table, because he's had some up and down performances, but I don't think he's a bad fighter. I think he's worthy of the fight on short notice as a replacement, and I wish Isaac Cruz the best. He definitely comes to fight. He definitely brings his best, but I just don't think it'll be enough for Tank. What Mexican is there for Canelo to fight now? I mean, I know Benavidez is technically, American or whatever, Mexican American, but there's him, who I don't think he's gonna fight, win or lose. He's not fighting Benavidez. There's Munguia. So does that mean he won't fight Munguia? Because I think Canelo will beat the crap out of Munguia. Gilberto Ramirez. I mean, there's plenty of Mexicans. I mean, there's Munguia, there's Gilberto Ramirez, there's Benavidez, if you want to count him. They got Mexicans for Canelo. Don't start having amnesia. Andre needs to take his energy elsewhere with the GGG winner. He's done that before. He's called for GGG. He's called for Charlo. He's called for Murata. These guys ain't calling back. What am I going to say if Plant loses? Because you're saying he ain't losing to Canelo. But if Plant loses, congrats to Canelo Alvarez. He definitely showed a lot of maturation, and he's a better fighter than I thought. I'm definitely going to give him his credit. I'm not one to hate. Canelo is a straight up bitch. Absolutely. I think he is. Absolutely. I truly think he is. Like, I don't care what nobody has to say. That's what I believe, and I'm standing on it. You don't get to run around calling yourself the best fighter in the world and duck undefeated multiple division champions that are calling you out. That's just not how it works. That's not how it works. Yeah, I can understand maybe he was in your weight class for only a year and you couldn't make the weight and then the timelines just didn't match up. That stuff happens in boxing. But for 5-6 years to not fight him, and then you go on record not once, not twice, not 3 times, not once, not twice, but 3 times you say you're gonna openly not fight him. Fuck out of here. We're not gonna listen. Listen, during this week, it's gonna be no excuses, no dishonor. So if Canelo wins, all credit to him, no excuses, no dishonor. If Canelo-Plant wins, it's no excuses, no dishonor. But either way, he needed to fight Demetrius Andrade, and it's no excuses, no dishonor. BT, call Mark so he can pass you my cell phone number. Just email me, bro. I don't talk to Mark like that outside of YouTube. I mean, I see him here and there. I don't even got Mark's number, so just email me. They all want that money. They will get that and a big L. Well, Canelo Alvarez's punk ass, he's not boxing for free. He's not boxing for free. Canelo Alvarez isn't boxing for free. And so he wants big money too. You talking about oh, they want big money. Every fighter wants big money. You think these fighters go to the gym and they go and they spar and they take the beatings and the wear and tear of boxing just because they love the sport? Listen, any fighter that tells you, oh, I'm just boxing for the love of the sport is full of shit. I'm sorry. They're full of it, because nobody at this level, with all the corruption and all the things that go wrong in boxing, nobody boxes strictly because of just the love of the sport. Now, obviously, you do box for the love of the sport. Part of the reason is because you love the sport. That is a driving factor. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you're not boxing to take all this punishment and retire broke. You're boxing so that, yes, you can make history. Yes, you can leave a legacy, but so that you can pay your damn light bill. Some of the greatest fighters in the history of boxing can't even pay the goddamn light bill. Wilfred Benitez, one of the greatest Puerto Rican fighters of all time. You guys may not know this, but one of the greatest Puerto Rican fighters of all time, Wilfred Benitez, the youngest world champion in the history of boxing. 17 years old, was world champion, okay? Great fighter, A-level fighter, creme de la creme, elite, top shelf. This guy can't even pay his light bill. And guess what? He has to get help from an organization called Ring 10. There's an organization called Ring 10. They're based out of New York. They do a lot for the fallen, for these fighters that retired from boxing broke, and they pay these fighters light bills, things like that. They're doing a lot of good work, and I really do respect the fine folks over at the Ring 10 organization in New York and what they're doing for these retired fighters. But like, y'all gotta really just look at boxing for what it is, man. It's a business. Before at the professional level, it's a business. It's a business before it's a sport. Now, all this talk about he gets boxed because he wants a payday. You goddamn right he wants a payday. Everyone wants a payday. Canelo wants a payday. You think Canelo Alvarez is boxing because he just loves boxing? Yeah, of course he loves boxing, but you best believe when that fight is over, he better be getting a check with 8 figures or higher. I promise you that. He's getting something with 8 figures or higher. I promise you that. Come on, man. Talking about he just wants a payday. Of course, everyone wants a payday. Canelo's punk ass wanted a payday when he fought Floyd. So did Canelo want a payday? He got a payday, but or is it different? Was he just challenging himself to be the best, or did he want a payday? Come on, man. Stop being so naive. Got me fired up, man. It's Monday. Y'all got me fired up already. Canelo is a great boxer. I just can't stand when people say that right now in his prime he beat me. Please. Canelo Alvarez couldn't even touch Floyd Mayweather when Floyd Mayweather was 36 years old. Okay, Floyd Mayweather was old. His hands were brittle. He wasn't even fighting in his best weight class. And you mean to tell me that this dude who couldn't even knock out Callum Smith is gonna beat Floyd Mayweather? Get the fuck out of here. He wouldn't even win. Listen, he didn't win a round against 36-year-old Floyd. If there was a way you could take Pretty Boy Floyd against the Canelo right now and put them against each other, man, Pretty Boy Floyd would have knocked Canelo. He would knock Canelo out in 7 rounds or less. That fight won't even get to the championship rounds. That'd be one of his. That'd be even easier. Y'all gonna be fired up, man. What if he beats Benavidez? He should be Benavidez. I'm surprised he hasn't taken that fight already. I think that's one of the best matchups out there for him. Tailor-made. I mean, Benavidez is a lot slower. He's got a lot of wear and tear on the body. Yes, he's physically strong. Yes, he can box a little bit. But I personally, but he's chinny and he's got a lot of wear and tear on that body. I really think that's like one of the fights he should take. If I was Canelo's manager, I'll put him in with Benavidez. And I'm surprised that he hasn't fought Benavidez already. To be honest with you, I think he'd win that fight. Riddick Bowe faces financial issues as well. That's right. That's why when I hear you, and Riddick Bowe's, I mean, I haven't seen him in about a year and a half, but you know, I still consider him a friend of mine, and I love Riddick Bowe. I had the honor to train with Riddick Bowe and stuff. And Riddick Bowe, man, I see what he goes through in his life after boxing, and it really makes me upset when I hear these boxing fans talk about, he just wants it for a payday. You goddamn right he wants for a payday. You guys damn right he wants a payday. You think these fighters are just doing it for the love of the sport? Come on, man. Obviously, they love boxing. It's a cold, hard game. Yes, we get it. It takes a certain level of love and dedication to dedicate yourself to the sport. But it is not just for the love of the sport. At the end of the day, these fighters, whether it be the guys that you claim on paydays or the guys that you claim are making history, whether it's any one of those guys, everyone wants a payday. Everyone does. Fuck you guys talking about? But yeah, shout out to everybody here, man. Make sure you smash that like button. Definitely take the time to subscribe. Super chat if you're led to. Don't be afraid to get trigger happy with them super chats. You know, those always help. But yeah, man, I appreciate everybody, man. It's a great month. We got a lot of great content coming out here on the channel. I'm excited, man. I'm excited for this month. I'm excited for boxing. I think boxing's in a great place. I think boxing's in a hell of a place. There's a lot of great fights this month. Aside from this weekend, even this week, like Friday on Top Rank, there's one fight on Top Rank I really want you guys to tune into. It's a good sink or swim fight as a co-main event on Top Rank. You know, you got Thomas Matisse from Ohio versus Luis Melendez from South Florida. 2 really hungry 130-pound fighters that can't afford a loss. That's aside from Canelo-Plant, that is the fight of the week. That's the fight of the week. Rook Davies, what's good, champ? Good to see you. He says, how are you, bro? I'm absolutely exceptional, man. I'm here in Las Vegas right now, just enjoying my time. Really just happy about life, man. A lot of good things are happening, both in boxing, both in my personal life. I'm just happy, man. I can't complain. God's very faithful, and God's been great to me. But how are you? How are you, Rod? And how is everybody here, man? I want to know. I may not know a lot of you guys in real life, but you know, I see you guys in my comments all the time. I know your name, so let me know in the comments how you guys doing. You know, let me know. 1, 2, 3. Shout out to you out there in Kazakhstan. Good to see you. He says GGG beat Canelo twice. I think so. I thought the first one he won for sure. The second one I thought he won too, but that's more debatable. I wasn't mad at the second one, but the first one was horrible. He should have won. November 20th, Johnny Beck versus Hassan Down. What do you think on that one? I think Johnny Beck on the call will beat the brakes off Hassan Down. Hassan Down got a lot of miles on the odometer. He's shot worn. I'm gonna say this, man. I did an interview. I did an interview recently. 1, 2, 3 with I don't know if you've ever heard of a fighter named Quantavious Cash. He's a 154-pounder, signed to Floyd. Good fighter, you know, sparred a lot of the top guys in boxing. Sparred Canelo-Plant. He sparred Canelo-Plant. He sparred Sean Porter. He sparred Demetrius Andrade, and he sparred like 20 or 30 world champions. And I interviewed him, right, and he said that Johnny Beck Anunkoli was like the only fighter out of all the world champions he sparred he said that Johnny Vic Amonkoli was the only fighter that made him feel like a boy in the ring. And he said that Johnny Vic Amonkoli will be a world champion, and he thinks that Johnny Vic Amonkoli is a very, very tough fight for Demetrius Andrade. So when I drop that interview 1, 2, 3, I want you to watch it because I think it'll be of great value and great interest to you to get that insight from Johnny Vic Amonkoli or from Quantavious Cash about Johnny Vic Amonkoli. You know what I'm saying? Charles Allardyce says, "Will we see Trevor Bryan versus Daniel Dubois in the next fight?" I have no clue. I just want Trevor Bryan to stay active because he fought in January. That was already 10 months ago. We want to see Trevor Bryan get these fights. Going into a championship fight, would you rather have a fighter who is more active but is facing the points he should be dominating, or a fighter who is less active but he's fighting quality competition? Well, activity is a very important thing. That's why I feel like if you're someone who's picking Canelo to win this fight, that would probably be one of the things I would take solace in and be confident about is the fact that Canelo has been very active over the year, over the last year or so. But activity is very important for a fighter because not for nothing, it's important for the fighter's timing. If a fighter has to stay active because of if you don't, your timing can get messed with and you can be a step or two off or half a step off. But when you get to that world class championship level, that's all the difference. That's all the difference. I'm all right, BT. I can't complain. Absolutely, Chance. I'm glad to hear you're doing okay. Keep doing good. Keep living your life. Keep improving, man. BT, remember, Canelo-Plant has a victory over the GOAT, Mike Lee, to prepare for Canelo. Hey, after this fight, you're gonna put some respect on Mike Lee's name. I'm blessed, brother. I hope you brought Pop with you for the fight. I wanted to, but Pops can't really travel right now because he's got his thing on his heart. So not now, but we're gonna bring Pops out next year. He'll be the first to tell you that he can't really travel anywhere right now outside of like Florida on a plane because of his heart problem. So I didn't bring him. I'm not gonna be seeing Pops till like later this month, but he's doing well. I talk to him every other day at least. Let me see. He said he's feeling good, really excited for these fights coming up. Me too, man. I'm happy. I'm happy about boxing right now. Boxing's in a good place. Boxing, I don't know what it is, but boxing always seems to get their shit together the last quarter of the year. It's a mess. Sometimes they get out to a slow start early in the year. Then it's a mess in the middle. But by the fourth quarter, boxing gets real good. Every year it's like this. I'm in the Dominican Republic, but New York. I'm in DR, but New York is my second house. I'm doing really well, thank you, man. He living life, man. I'm trying to get on your level, champ. Maybe like in 2, 3, 4 years. Maybe one day I'll have a apartment in South Florida and an apartment in Vegas. Because I'll tell you guys this, man. I love Vegas. When the Vegas weather is like this, Vegas is amazing. Vegas is something special. Baki Hamna says, "What's up, bro? Have you been sparring lately?" I was actually supposed to spar today. I didn't want to sparring today because the people that I was going to spar, apparently they sparred already. So I'll probably be sparring on Friday. But I've been shadow boxing a little bit, just trying to knock the cobwebs off and get my legs under me, get into a good rhythm. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been a little lackadaisical with the training recently. But I'll be probably sparring on Friday. On the day before Canelo-Plant, I'll be sparring. Do I think Isaac Cruz is a great replacement? I think he's all right. He's solid. He's there's not much better you could do right now on short notice to him. I think he's good. What comment? I read your comment already, Anthony. I already read your comment, champ. I read your comment about what this comment, this one right here. Yeah, I told you I think it's important to have be active in the ring. It's good to hear that Pops is doing good. God bless him and you too, my brother. Absolutely, champ. I feel like life's really matured me a lot these last 3 months, man. So I'm just glad with the way things have turned out these last 3 months, from nearly leaving YouTube to Pops having his heart attack to going through some things on my own, and we here, man. We're doing our thing. 1, 2, 3 says Murata versus GG unification on its way. The co-main event will be Ioka versus Kaz. I know that Ioka is having your respect. What do you think on that fight? Now, I've been told a couple of times that is the co-main event, and I'll tell you this: if Kaz versus Ioka is the co-main event to that card, that's one of the best cards of the year. Good fight. I like this fight for a lot of reasons. Because like Gervonta and Cajas, most people don't even realize this. But Gervonta and Cajas has been the longest reigning champion at 115. I think he's had about like what 8 title defenses. He's held the belt since like 2016. But he hasn't gotten those signature opponents in the ring that he needs for people to really realize that, hey, Gervonta Davis is the truth. Now he's fighting a guy in Ioka who's in amazing form right now. He's not too far removed from that great win against Kosai Tanaka. Hell of a fight. I don't really have a prediction right now off top because I don't think it'll be smart to make a prediction right now because I haven't went back and watched the tape. But if I had to make one right now, I would go with Ioka. I just think Ioka's a hell of a fighter. Did I get tickets for this Saturday? I haven't yet. There's a possibility I might get tickets, but I'm not really holding my breath on it. So if I don't, I'm okay with not getting tickets. It's cool with me if I don't get tickets. But there's a possibility I might. If I do, cool. If not, I'll be here live with Angelo Leo, and we'll have a great night. I'm excited for Canelo-Plant versus I'm excited for Canelo-Plant, but I just want to see Teofimo versus Kambosos. There might be an upset. You think so? I know George Kambosos has done a great job of talking himself up to no end, and he's getting George Kambosos. I'll tell you, man, one thing I like about George Kambosos is he speaks from the heart, and he's fired up all the time, man. So he's definitely doing a good job of selling the fight and things like that. But George Kambosos, there's levels to boxing. There really is levels to boxing. So I think T will be too much for him. Murata's defense is too shaky. I can see GGG getting a ref or doctor corner stoppage. Murata has a heart and a good chin. Well, he's got a good chin, and he can box. And Golovkin is 39 years old, and he's been out the ring for a year. So I think – and he's on the road in Japan. So I really think because of that, the fight's a 50-50 fight. And this really could be Golovkin's last stand. This could be the last stand for Golovkin. If he goes in there and has a performance like he did against Derevyanchenko, he could very well lose this fight. Do you think Isaac can hurt Tank like Rolly can? He can, but I just think because of his punches are very wide, and he likes they come at the same speed. I really just feel like Tank's gonna pick up on those shots after a couple rounds, and he's not gonna get hurt as bad as you guys think. Rolly is not trash. He's not trash. Anybody who thinks Rolly's trash, I'm sorry. Like, you guys need to go really watch more boxing. Listen, I watch a lot of boxing. I watch club boxing. I watch the contenders. I watch the champions. I know what a trash fighter looks like, and Rolly is not a trash fighter. Now, is he unconventional? Can he be a bit sloppy at times? Yes, he can, and yes, he is. But Rolly Romero is far from trash. I promise you. Or as Canelo would say, I promise you, you're going to see something special. Speaking of replacements, I think Kyron Davis is as good, if not better, than Jose Uzcategui. I don't think so. I think Kyron Davis is a blown-up fighter, a guy that, he fought Darrell, but smaller fighter. I don't think Kyron Davis is a better fighter than, let's say, Lionel Thompson. I think Lonnie B. Thompson would have been a much, much better replacement opponent for Dave Benavidez than Kyron Davis. And I'll tell you this: these managers and these promoters, they don't want to put a lot of their fighters in there with Lionel Thompson at 68, because at 68, Lionel Thompson is a monster, and Lionel Thompson ain't nobody to be fucked at 68. But the boxing game and the boxing promoters will just pretend like he don't exist. They'll freeze him out. They don't want to give him his fights. It's cool. They want to play a lot of games, so it's cool. But shout out to my boy Lionel Thompson, Lonnie B. Thompson. I had a chance to meet him for the first time the other night. Really down to earth dude. We did an interview right there on the strip. Right there on the strip. It was beautiful. Hey, Brandon, did you see the Naoya Monster Inoue is fighting in December? Yeah, I saw he's cherry picking. The Monster hasn't fought anybody in 2 years since he fought down there. He ain't fought nobody in 2 years since he fought down there. And, the Monster, I like the Monster. I don't like talking bad about the Monster, but the Monster, listen, man, this is a guy that pretty much ducked and avoided the entire super flyweight division when he was champion. This is the same guy that ducked and avoided Prime Cholatito to go fight an old 40-year-old Omar Narvaez. So I hate to say it like that, but it's the truth. And, after this fight, he better be fighting someone good. Otherwise, Otherwise, we're gonna have a whole lot to say about Inoue next. But this is bad. Like I don't like the fact that he's fighting this guy. It's been 2 years since he fought Thunder. It has. It's been 2 years. It's been since 2 years already. Straight like that. Just time's flying by. Who's putting money on Cruz over Tank? I don't know. I don't bet on boxing. Listen, if y'all didn't see my video that I made a video pretty much explaining why I don't bet on boxing. Don't ask me about betting because you'll never catch me betting on boxing ever. Tevin Farmer has been begging for Tank on Twitter. He's missed his opportunity. Well, Tevin Farmer is an idiot because with remember when Tevin Farmer and Tank ran into each other and he was like, what did he say? He said, I'm gonna quote him verbatim. He's like, if I was with Al Heyman, I'd be a 2-time world champion, nigga. I'd be a 3-time world champion. I'd be a 4-time world champion. I got it off the muscle. He said all that stuff, and then they were like, "Whoa, aren't you signed to Little Bella? That's the same shit as being signed to Al." So ever since he lost that title, he's been getting frozen out. So all I'm saying is, if you're a fighter that's affiliated with Al Heyman, don't talk bad about Al Heyman. Otherwise, you ain't getting fights. BT, I don't think people remember that Lionel Thompson beat Uzcategui soundly. He is the one that should have gotten Benavidez fight. And why the hell is he not the replacement now on top of it? Absolutely, 100 million%. Lonnie Thompson beat Jose Uzcategui better than Canelo-Plant did. They put him in fights like there's names of his, like if you go look at his record, right? There's names on his record that right now might not be big names, but they were names that meant something when he fought them. So I'll give you guys an example. Lonnie B. Thompson. He was matched in 2017. He was matched with Earl Newman. And for those of you who don't know who Earl Newman is a fighter that won the New York City Golden Gloves. He had a lot of hype coming into the pros. He was a prospect that PBC was looking to move fast and move on to some bigger, better things. Man, they put him in there with Lonnie B. Thompson. You know what Lonnie B. Thompson did? Lonnie P. Thompson gave that boy a standing eight count in round 3 and dropped his ass in round 4 and then beat him up for 10 rounds and got UD. You get him. Then you look at like the Edwin Rodriguez fight, which is really close. It's the same Edwin Rodriguez that took Andre Wolf the distance. A lot of people thought he beat Edwin Rodriguez. And these are all, mind you, all of his losses and most of his career is all at light heavyweight. And he was an undersized light heavyweight, but still competing, still showing his level, still showing his quality. He has one fight at 68 against Jose Uzcategui, beats the shit out of him, and he can't get fights no more because these promoters. Let me explain before I get to more questions and more comments. By the way, you guys smash that like button, take time to subscribe, super chat, all that good stuff. Listen, one thing that I hate about boxing, right? The boxing business, not boxing the sport, because boxing the sport is amazing. It's the greatest thing ever. But boxing the business is detestable, disgusting. Okay, let me explain something to you guys. So let's say you're an opponent, right? Let's say you're a B-side fighter, you're the opponent. And, you don't really have the politics of boxing stacked in your favor, and you can't really get the fights you want under the circumstances you want. So what winds up happening is they offer you fights on short notice, most of the time on short money. And, if you take short money one time, even if you win, they feel like because you took short money one time, that you're going to take short money all the time. So, like, for example, when I interviewed Lonnie B. Thompson on Saturday night, I'll give you guys a little bit of what he said, right? So Lonnie B. Thompson, right, in his 11th professional fight, he fought Sergey Kovalev, prime Sergey Kovalev, not just any Sergey Kovalev. We're talking about the Crusher. When we talk about who he fought the Crusher. And mind you, at that time he fought Sergey Kovalev, this was a guy in Kovalev that was, fighting his best. At that particular time, Lonnie B. Thompson only had 13 professional fights going into that fight. So let me ask you guys a question. If you're a manager and you got a fighter with 13 professional fights as a light heavyweight, would you want to put him in the ring with Sergey Kovalev in his prime? I don't think so. But Lonnie B. Thompson had the balls to step in the ring with Sergey Kovalev in his 13th professional fight. Now, with that being said, he didn't win, so it is what it is. But you know how much money he made for that fight? I think he told me he made like $10,000 when he fought Sergey Kovalev. So this is a guy that's earned his stripes in the boxing game. This is a guy that's, put in that pain, as they would say, fought the killers, fought the top guys, hasn't just lost all his big fights, won some of his big fights, and the boxing game still refuses to give him a fair shake. So he said pretty much, look, if y'all ain't going to pay me properly, then fuck it. I ain't going to fight until, you guys give me the right offer. So that's what it is. But it's a great interview. I got it on my phone. I'll definitely be sharing it sometime this week because it's an interview that I feel the world needs to hear. And it's an interview that I really think a lot of the world would enjoy. So you guys definitely be on the lookout for that. Probably, look, you'll never hear me say this about most of my interviews because I'm very hard on myself. But the Lonnie B. Thompson interview is one of the top 25 to 30 best interviews I've ever done here on True School Sports. And I've done hundreds of them, maybe even 1,000 something. I've done a lot of interviews. So definitely be on the lookout for that. But yeah, it's your boy BT. Did you see Savannah Marshall's fight? No, I didn't, but I caught the highlights. She looked good. Savannah Marshall always looks spectacular in all of her fights. One of the best fighters in women's boxing today. She's right up there with in my opinion, as far as talent, she's right up there with the Claressa Shields and the Amanda Serranos and the Katie Taylors and the Sinisa Estradas and them girls. She's at a good level. But yeah, 4 of Lonnie B. Thompson's losses were disputed decisions. So that's why, as a boxing fan, you can't just look at the records. You got to look at the context in which these fighters won, in which these fighters lost. And that's what it is. That's what it is. And, Lonnie B. Thompson, man, he's one of the best kept secrets in boxing. Are you a good dancer? I would say a lot of people say that I'm a lot better than I give myself credit for. I think I'm pretty solid, but a lot of the girls that I danced with in the past, they've always said I never got any complaints, and I've gotten compliments on my dancing. So yes, I got decent footwork. I can move. Francisco Gomez says Tank is fighting cherry after cherry after cherry after cherry after cherry. Got more cherries than a cherry pie, man. Listen, I gotta listen. The Gervonta Davis Witness Protection Program is still in full effect. Jesus. It's still in full effect, man. But yeah, it's going to be a interesting time in boxing, with Canelo-Plant this week. Let this be a declaration of war. Caleb-Plant is coming. 116, 112, Caleb-Plant, UD, and the new super middleweight champion, and still undefeated, Caleb Sweet Hands Plant from Nashville, Tennessee, better known as Cashville, Tennessee. Yeah, we here, man. Gonna be great. David asked me, am I going to Canelo versus Plant? I would say the answer is most likely no, but I don't really know yet. I won't really know until a couple days after the fight. A couple days, like a day or two before the fight. I don't know yet. How is Pops? Pops is great. He called me yesterday. We talked for like maybe an hour or so. He's great. I have nothing bad. Pops didn't tell me anything bad, so I'm gonna assume he's good. Canelo is gonna get planted. Facts. You speaking the truth, Kingley. You speaking the truth. But yeah, that's the news, man. If you're just tuning in, if you're just funneling in, let me know where you guys watch from, what city, what state, what continent. Let me know in the comments down below. I'm reporting to you guys live and direct from Las Vegas, Nevada. So let me know where you watch from. I'll give you a shout out. And give me your predictions. Give me your predictions for Caleb-Plant versus Canelo. Let me know how you're doing. How is life? All that stuff. It's your boy BT. I'm good. Life could be better, but not by much. I'll be honest with you. Life could be better, but not by much. Life pretty damn good right now. But yeah, man. Let me see. Let's check some boxing news, man, because I haven't had a chance to really check the boxing news today. But Isaac Cruz versus Davis will be a good fight. It'll be a fun for as long as it lasts. Let me see. So what we got. Let me see. Team USA, 4 boxers in Team USA secure their place in the AIBA quarterfinals of the AIBA World Championships. Now I'm gonna tell you guys this right now. If you guys don't know, in the amateur system right now. There's a one of the biggest amateur tournaments in boxing is going on right now. The AIBA World Championships. I would say it's probably the biggest thing any amateur boxer can win, aside from the Olympics. And right now, America has 4 boxers in the quarterfinal, and there's this one fighter that boxed for America who I think is going to be really, really good, and his name is Raheem Gonzalez from Las Vegas. From right here in Las Vegas, I had a chance to meet him last time I was here. Really, really talented fighter, and I think you guys will be hearing about him in the near future. Hell of a fighter. Hell of a fighter. Let me see. True. Caleb got foreskin skin. He's gonna get cut up. I don't know what that means, but you know, listen. He can get cut up. Canelo can get cut up. I just know Canelo-Plant's gonna win. That's all I know. Salute from Karaganda, Kazakhstan, the hometown of Triple G. Should be a good fight, man. I'm looking forward to seeing how Golovkin looks at 39 and to see like just where the hell his ambition and his drive is for boxing, because I do question where that's at right now. Plant wins the majority of the rounds and loses a unanimous decision on the scorecard. That's my prediction. Boxing once again does someone dirty that deserves to win. Well, listen, if that happens, I can sleep. I can sleep fine that night knowing that happens. But I truthfully think people are underestimating the marketability of earning potential of Caleb-Plant, and Canelo Alvarez will lose a decision to Caleb-Plant. I promise you. And it's on a PBC card. Good stream, champ. Much love from Miami. Shout out to Miami. Shout out to the whole of South Florida. You know, from Boca Raton, from Delray Beach, all the way to Dania Beach, which is my hometown, the city. Dania Beach, Hollywood, Fort Lauderdale, Pembroke Pines, Weston, Homestead, where I live now, Brickell, South Beach, everywhere, Miami. Shout out to Miami. Shout out to South Florida. I got Canelo by 10-round TKO, but if it goes 12 rounds, I see Caleb getting a split decision win. That's fair. That's definitely fair. Wacky, you're already making up your own outcomes. We all do. BT, y'all don't get Floyd Mayweather is only moving Tank the way he couldn't move when he was at this stage with Top Rank. It's not good for boxing, but that's Floyd. It's horrible for boxing. But listen, is it really bad for boxing? Because look, like I was just ranting and raving earlier. Boxing is a business, so it's all about selling tickets. And one thing Tank Davis does is sell tickets. He be selling tickets like crazy. You know, Teofimo Lopez, for as good as he is and for all the accomplishments he has, he doesn't sell tickets like Gervonta Davis sells tickets. So is it bad for boxing? Now, it's bad for boxing as far as the competitive integrity of boxing, but it's not bad for boxing, the business, because Tank Davis is becoming a bigger star fight by fight, moment by moment, knockout by knockout. And I would say in America, he's definitely one of the top 5 biggest stars in boxing here in America. It's no doubt about it. You know, he's one of the only fighters that could fight on the East Coast in America, that's from America, that could sell 10,000 plus tickets, and fight on the West Coast in America and sell 10,000 plus tickets. There's not a lot of fighters that can do that that have that kind of drawing power. He does, and that's why he's going to continue to be moved for as long as he needs to be until the right fight comes to the table. I see Canelo winning the fight the same way Zepeda versus Vargas went. You think Canelo's going to knock his ass out in the first round? Man, Canelo Alvarez couldn't even knock Amir Khan out on the first round. It ain't going down like that, champ. It is not going down like that. But we'll be here to cover. We'll be here to cover it. Should be fun. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna find out when it's too late. Let me see. But yes, listen, it's a beautiful time to be a boxing fan. It's a beautiful time to be alive. I know there's a lot of craziness going on in the world, but y'all gotta look at the glass half full. Don't be a half glass empty kind of person. Be a half glass full kind of person. You know, boxing's in a great place, and my life's in a great place. And look, hopefully you guys are doing what you got to do in your lives to make your lives in a great place. And if you're not happy where you're at in life today, you know, start today. Start doing the things you got to do to be successful. Canelo is going to injure Caleb-Plant's shoulder, and after that fight is over, Canelo will win by TKO. We'll see. He's definitely got the ability. You know, he definitely got the ability. Canelo wins round 9 counter uppercut to the body. He's got the ability to do it. So I'm not listening. I know I'm picking Caleb-Plant. I know I'm going to be talking my shit and having fun doing it, but we're not going to sit here and think that Canelo Alvarez can't beat Caleb-Plant. That would just be foolish. Usam the fanboy killer says, I always rate someone's drawing power by seeing interest from my casual friends. Absolutely. Like, look, I watch boxing, so I love Jaron Ennis and I love Josh Taylor, and I feel like everybody should know these guys. But, you know, these guys don't have the drawing power yet of a guy like Ryan Garcia or Tank, or, you know, it is what it is. Chance Dawson says, BT, in the back of my mind, Caleb might fuck around and win this fight. I think he will win this fight. And I think people are doing themselves a great disservice talking about him like he doesn't have no chance. Now, the way some of these people are talking about Canelo-Plant, this is the way that they should have been talking about Canelo-Smith, because he had no chance. Truthfully, anybody who knows boxing, knows the style of Canelo-Smith, saw the John Ryder fight, knew that there was not a snowball's chance in hell. Fuck winning. There was not a snowball's chance in hell that Canelo-Smith was going to make that fight a competitive fight, let alone win the fight. Boxing is today's boxing today is trash compared to the last era full of greats. I mean, yeah, look, boxing definitely has its faults, but I feel like people say that about everything. You know, people say boxing is trash compared to the old era. People say that music is trash, everything is trash. You know, it is what it is, man. I always say that there's some things that I wish would be better at boxing, but you got to take the good with the bad. We had the bad early in the summertime. We have the good now. There's a lot of good fights on this during this month, so be appreciative. BT, what Floyd always says, love me, hate me, whether you pay to see me lose, as long as you whether you pay to see me win or lose, as long as you pay. That's how Floyd thinks. Controversy sells. Absolutely. I agree. Caleb-Plant being overlooked. But what do you think Caleb has that will give him the victory? I think Caleb-Plant, his punches get from point A to point B quicker than Canelo. I think Caleb-Plant is more athletic than Canelo. I think he's faster than Canelo. I think he's truthfully the first like natural 168 fighter that's been a champion that he's fought. Because if you look at Canelo-Smith, Canelo-Smith was a weight drained 68 pounder that should have moved up to light heavyweight probably after he won the World Boxing Super Series. Saunders is a guy that came up from 68, as to where Caleb-Plant is solid year round 168 pounder. So that goes in his favor. The fact that, you know, this is probably the first fighter, because if you look at Canelo-Smith, right? Canelo-Smith, even when he was at his best, you know, in the World Boxing Super Series, he wasn't winning fights, you know, throwing a high volume of punches. He was winning fights, picking his shots, using his size, overwhelming people with his strength and whatnot. You know, routinely giving up his size, but he didn't have the highest punch output. Same thing couldn't go for Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders is one of those fighters that has the British amateur style, but he does it a lot of justice. Moves very slick, but doesn't have a high punch volume. For the first time, maybe in the entire career of Canelo Alvarez, he's fighting a physically strong, bigger boxer at his natural weight class who's going to throw more punches than him. And mark my words, it will give him problems. To me, like, I'm not going to I don't want to get too deep into my breakdown for this fight, because I am going to shoot my breakdown video, and it will be the definitive breakdown for this fight. And it'll probably be out tomorrow. I'm going to shoot it tonight. What I'll say is this. Caleb-Plant he's the first fighter that I would say is bigger than Canelo that's going to throw more punches than him. And this fight is going to be won and lost, not so much in the last couple rounds, but it's actually going to be one of those fights where the fight is won in the first 4 to 5 rounds, you know, because Canelo Alvarez is genuinely a slow starter. We know that, right? Caleb-Plant is a fighter that he's a rhythmic fighter. He's one of those fighters that if you allow him to get, you know, 2 rounds in the bank, 3 rounds in the bank, let him get settled into rhythm, he's a very difficult guy to beat and figure out. So something's got to give. Either A, like something in the first 4 to 5 rounds has to give. Either A, Caleb-Plant is going to win the first 4 rounds and get into a great rhythm, and it's going to be difficult for Canelo to figure him out down the stretch. Maybe he will make the adjustment. Or Canelo Alvarez will press Caleb-Plant early, and he'll either hurt him, or Caleb-Plant will have something in his arsenal to keep Canelo off of him. You know, to me, the fight is it really isn't about the last couple rounds, but it's really more about the first 4 to 5 rounds and the approach that Canelo has in the first 4 to 5 rounds and the response that Caleb-Plant has to the approach that Canelo has in the first 4 to 5 rounds. So to me, That's what makes this fight so interesting. That's what makes this fight like just so intriguing to me. Canelo-Plant will for sure give him trouble in the first rounds, but he'll get tired after round 6. Well, you know what? He's got stamina problems, but truthfully, Canelo Alvarez got stamina problems too. He just hasn't had anybody to really push him in a long time. The last time anybody really pushed the pace on Canelo was probably the first Golovkin fight. He was huffing and puffing. All these other guys don't have high punch outputs. They don't punch hard enough. They don't move. They don't really give anything anything to worry about in terms of Canelo having to expend mental or physical energy. They've all been most of these guys have been tailor-made styles for him. Why is Rolly out? Because Rolly apparently raped some chick, and now he got Me Too'd, and now he's the Bill Cosby of boxing, and now all these girls are coming out all of a sudden because they want some money, and they're saying that Rolly raped them and physically touched them and all these things. So, yeah. And yeah, everybody's talking about Canelo-Plant and his stamina problems. Motherfucker, Canelo Alvarez gassed out against Daniel Jacobs. He gassed out against Daniel Jacobs. I really think the key to this fight is Plant stamina. If he can come in top fight condition, he could be Canelo. And I think he'll be in top fight condition. I think both of them will. I truthfully think both of them will. This fight's all going to be about those first 4 to 5 rounds. The approach that Canelo and Plant have to the first 4 or 5 rounds and how they both respond in the first 4 to 5 rounds, because that's going to set up whatever happens down the stretch. Now, I'm really hoping, like, what I want to happen is I want Canelo to try to press Canelo-Plant early, because if he tries to press Canelo-Plant early, that will be the stupidest thing he does in this fight. I promise you. I thought Johnny Beck Anunkole was supposed to fight somebody this month. He was scheduled to fight this Friday on the Michaela Mayer undercard against Hassam Nadam, but that fight got canceled. So I think it got pushed back to later in the month. Absolutely. See, Usam the fanboy killer, and you might want to screenshot this, Usam. But Usam the fanboy killer, he's one of the only people I know on planet Earth. You know, there's many Earthlings, there's many human beings that roam this planet, that roams these wastelands looking for themselves. But one of the only people on Earth that I know that truly knows boxing is Usam. He's telling you the truth. Y'all in for a real big surprise. Plant has delicate skin. He gets cut open with any punch. Well, hey, you gotta land those punches. You know, skin and face, the way your face looks, that don't win fights. You score fights round by round. Caleb Truax beat the brakes off Canelo-Plant. So how does he have a chance against Canelo? What fight were you watching? What fight were you watching, W. Rouse? I know. Listen, you might need these, champ. You might need these, champ. You might need these. Like, look, I don't know if you can see how strong that prescription is, champ. But that's a strong ass prescription. That is a strong ass prescription, and you might need these. We talking about the same Caleb Truax fight where Canelo-Plant won the fight with just a jab, and he bloodied up Caleb Truax's nose with a jab and was backing him up with a jab. Okay, yeah, he got caught with a couple overhand rights, but fuck it, it's a fight. Everyone gets caught with something. You call that getting the brakes beat off of someone? So if Caleb Truax beat the brakes off of Canelo-Plant, what the fuck did Floyd do when he fought Canelo? I need to know that one. Someone riddle me that one, because everybody says, oh, he got the brakes beat up by Caleb Truax. But what happened when Canelo fought Floyd? And the funny thing is, look, y'all talking about Caleb Truax like he's a bum. Caleb Truax is a former world champion. This is the same Caleb Truax that beat James DeGale, who's a gold medalist for the world title. So y'all want to see? I know he's not on Canelo's level. I get that. He's not no A-level creme de la creme fighter, but he sure as hell ain't no bum either. This the same Caleb Truax that beat James DeGale, who was a gold medalist, a good fighter in James DeGale, a world champion fighter in James DeGale. So stop people seriously, y'all gotta stop discrediting fighters just to prop up who it is you like in the fight. How you gonna say beat the brakes off of Canelo-Plant? He had his nose gushing blood everywhere with a jab. He barely needed the right hand. It's possible, man. It's boxing. Listen, anything can happen. Canelo could go in there. Canelo could go in there and beat the shit out of him. Canelo-Plant can go in there and beat the shit out of him. It's boxing. Anything can happen. Caleb-Plant has the ability to move and have a long range and quicker footwork. That could confuse Canelo. He could pull off a real Kovalev fight, not a dive. Yeah, Kovalev fucking beating Canelo just a jab and put the right hand in his pocket, took a damn dive. Kovalev used to be a favorite of mine, but Kovalev for a long time, since that fight, lost a lot of respect for him. I'm not even really a fan of his anymore like that. What fight was Canelo bleeding from? His pro debut. Canelo, listen, y'all talk about Canelo. Canelo's been hurt multiple times. Canelo got hurt in his pro day. Canelo almost got knocked out in his pro debut. He got hurt by Jose Miguel Cotto. Floyd buzzed him. Canelo's got his shit pushed back more times than we can count. Golovkin was pushing his shit back. Like, y'all talking about Canelo like he's this untouchable great fighter. Like, he's a fantastic fighter, but come on. He's not no damn untouchable fighter. He's not Floyd. He's not Roy Jones Jr. He's not even Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., if you want to be honest. If you want to keep it all the way a buck. What do I think Caleb-Plant should avoid doing? These are great questions. I think Caleb-Plant should really avoid at all costs staying in the pocket for more than 2 punches with Canelo. Get your 2 punches off and get out. Don't let Canelo set his feet. You know, the more you turn Canelo and the more he's unable to set his feet, the more you're going to beat him. I think Caleb-Plant should really, really avoid trading left hooks at Canelo. Avoid that. Avoid trading hooks at Canelo. Avoid being lured into a fire fight early in the fight. Now, if you believe in your conditioning and you feel good going into later rounds and you feel like the will of Canelo is relenting, then maybe you can walk him down in the later rounds. But in the first 5 to 7 rounds, I want to see Caleb-Plant picking his spots when to exchange, when not to exchange. But, you know, go for the gusto in the late rounds if you feel like Canelo's being broken down. You know what I'm saying? But look, it's a good fight. Canelo was beaten by Golovkin. He took a hell of a beating in those 2 fights. He did. Even his performance against Danny Jacobs was overrated. He had flashy moments, but Jacobs pushed him and walked him down in the later rounds. The fight is closer than people think. I thought Canelo won that fight pretty closely, but you know, I thought he won that fight pretty clearly, but you know, Jacobs did have his moments. Jacobs was able to land flush. I mean, he was able to land flush. I'm talking about flush on Canelo. But it was just too far and few between. The only thing Plant has going for him is his jab, and Plant can't avoid exchanging left hooks. That's his best punch. No, you can't avoid exchanging left hooks. If you have that great feel for the fight, and you see that Canelo throws a left hook first, do not throw a left hook with him or anything like that. You know, he's got a lot of things going for him. He's got his jab, he's got his footwork, he's got his ability to change rhythms. He's got a lot of things in this fight, a lot of things going for him in this fight. But Canelo has his attributes too, and that's why this is a good fight. You know, but again, I'm gonna say it again. Caleb-Plant 116, 112 UD. Canelo is going to open the same cut scratch that was open in the press conference. He might, but he's still gonna lose. He can do whatever he can do that if he wants. He's gonna lose. He's gonna lose. Listen, man. Face the reality. Like face the facts, man. It's Judgment Day. Judgment Day is upon us. The war is upon us, man. Listen, y'all have flapped your gums. Y'all have spoken too long about Canelo Alvarez, about how he's the best fighter in boxing. He got the best resume. And truthfully speaking, if you compare Canelo Alvarez to Chocolatito and Gallo Estrada, he don't even got a better resume. He don't even got a better resume than either one of them. They both got better resumes than Canelo. A lot of fighters in boxing have better resumes than Canelo. Usyk has a better resume than Canelo. So, you know, I'm just happy, man. Like, I'm happy. Canelo can win the fight, but I truly believe, I have a lot of conviction that Caleb-Plant will win this fight. And when he does, man, it's just going to be so great because we can finally talk all the shit in the world about Canelo. I'm going to do that regardless, but I'm saying we can really, really pour it on. And we know that the Canelo fans will be very, very sensitive when it does happen. So I'm very excited just about the prospect of that happening. But it's a good fight. Apart from that, it's a good fight. All that footwork and slick stuff is a myth. The only thing that he had effectively neutralized Canelo is an effective jab, non-stop activity. Nah, it's not a myth. It's not a myth. The way he pivots, the way he can move around that ring, the way he can parry, you're going to see. You're going to see Dundada. I respect you, champ. I respect you. He needs to avoid the Canelo uppercut and pressure him. Well, if you go to the power and you stay on the end of those punches, that's very possible. If you smother the punches and you go to the power, he doesn't have that room to extend, and he's gonna have to really shorten it up to get it off. You know what I'm saying? Did you think Billy Joe Saunders was gonna lose against Canelo? Absolutely. I didn't think that Canelo was gonna knock him out or stop him, but I thought he was gonna lose. And if you don't believe me, because a lot of people think that because I hate Canelo that I can't separate what I think is gonna happen from what I want to happen. If you don't believe me, I can go get you the prediction video link right now and you can watch it. I picked Canelo to win that fight. The funny thing is, if Canelo wins, majority of people will say he cherry-picked Caleb-Plant and he wasn't a threat for Canelo. Nah, I'm not saying that. If Canelo beats Caleb-Plant in legitimate, convincing fashion, I'm going to say, wow, look at Canelo Alvarez. Look at Canelo Alvarez showing that maturation as a fighter, showing the world, showing what he's about, you know. Now go fight Demetrius Andrew and stop ducking him. That's going to be my response. He'll get credit, but we got to fight Demetrius Andrew at some point. What do I have to say about Plant staying imposing when he exchanges? He did it with Uskatigi, who nearly stopped in the late rounds, and Caleb Truex. What do I say about that? I say that he still found a way to grind it out and win the fights. And I don't think that Canelo Alvarez punches as hard at 168 as Uskatigi, being honest. He punches hard, he can break you down, he can place your shots, but he's got to do it methodically. I think Uskatigi is a harder puncher at 68 than Canelo. And truthfully, like, Caleb-Plant's one of those fighters, you know, we won't know until Saturday, but he can strike me as one of those fighters that, you know, he's more talented than Truex and he's more talented than Uskatagi. So in knowing that, like, he's not going to fight his best performance. I feel like this fight, like fights like this, where he knows he can't, you know, do that, he's gonna box a lot better. He's an under the lights fighter in the highest sense of the word. You know how many guys I've heard about here in Vegas that have stopped Caleb-Plant in sparring, but he goes under the lights and he goes in there and he looks like $1 million, you know, most of the fights. So that's what I'm saying. He's gonna be extremely surprised by Caleb-Plant's size and strength. And listen, if y'all think it's just gonna be a cakewalk, you think this is gonna be like Callum Smith, you got another thing coming. Canelo became a more poised and patient in the ring, and you get that with experience. Also, the fact that he gasses out plays a big part in that too. Yeah, he got more experience. He's more loose. He doesn't panic in there. You got to acknowledge those things about Canelo. That these are the things that have gotten him to the position he's at today as a fighter. But his tendencies are still the same. Like, yes, his posture is more relaxed. His body language is more relaxed. He doesn't get nervous anymore. He doesn't rush his shots. He doesn't load up when he don't have to load up. He knows when to place his shots. He knows a lot of things. He's an experienced professional of the sport. But the tendencies are still the same. You know, the tendencies are still the same. And if you think otherwise, wait till Saturday night. I still don't like the haircut. You need a new look, bro. Grow those curls. Fuck no. I'm not trying to do the Bruno Mars thing again. I gotta keep my hair short because when I keep my hair short, it means I'm all business. You know, truthfully, like, look, when it comes to my hair, as you can see, I don't have my shit edged out because I have my pops just shave it. So the pops gave me this haircut, but you know, at some point in time, while we're here in Vegas, we'll go to a legitimate barber shop and get a legitimate haircut. Maybe for the Crawford Porter fight, we'll get a legitimate haircut because I don't think y'all have seen me. I haven't been seen on YouTube with a legitimate like lineup haircut in a while. You know, if Caleb-Plant wins this fight, how long do you think he'll be successful defending his titles? That's a great question. Now, years ago when he was a prospect, I said a long time ago, I think Caleb-Plant has the skills, the size, the attitude, the style, the mentality to be not just a world champion and not just a guy who wins a belt and defends it 1 or 2 times. He's defended it 3 times already. I think he's gonna be a guy that has a good reign. I think he could make 2 or 3 title defenses after that. And yeah, I'm a Caleb-Plant believer. I'm not new to the Caleb-Plant, you know, bandwagon, so to speak. I've been on Caleb-Plant for a long time. Now, give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. I got to respond to this text. On YouTube, I'll call you back. Yeah, it's the Untouchable True School Sports Empire. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe. Definitely super chat. I'm going to call you back when I'm off. Okay. Yeah. Praise Boots for beating Leibniz and Lauren, but Canelo gets slack for destroying Josecito Lopez. I mean, I haven't mentioned Josecito Lopez. And Canelo Alvarez, you can't compare Boots and him because Canelo Alvarez was in a political position of power, being that he was being propped up as the next Mexican star. So he was always going to be in position to make those big fights. Now, people, listen, man, I already told y'all, I made the video. Are you placing any bet on the fight? I don't bet on boxing. I'll never bet on boxing, ever. I made the video on that fight. I made a video about this subject that came out a couple days ago. I listed my reasons there. Go watch that video. It's on the channel. Let me see. BT, do you think Ward has helped Plant in camp? I really think he has. Of course. How could he not? I mean, with all that knowledge and all the big fight experience that he has, yeah, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he be an asset? Of course he was an asset. Would you favor Plant over GGG or Jacobs? I would definitely favor him over Jacobs. That's for damn sure. Golovkin might be a different proposition all on its own. Golovkin, very good jab, very physically strong. That I think would be a difficult fight for Canelo-Plant, to be honest with you. But Daniel Jacobs he beat for sure. Because Daniel Jacobs, for as good as he is, he still fights like he's in the New York City Golden Gloves. Boots versus Provodnikov. Who wins, BT? Tough fight. But, I'm high on Boots. So I'm gonna go with Boots. But that'd be a good fight. In his prime, Provodnikov was extremely, extremely, extremely durable. I mean, I'm talking about hella durable. Some would even say too durable for his own good. Blocks punches with his face. I'm wondering if Caleb will try more of a Shakur Stevenson approach, depending on how Canelo takes the power. I think he might. I think you're going to see the same thing play out. Because what was the narrative? What was the narrative about Shakur Stevenson before I fought Herring? Oh, he's boring. Oh, he can't punch. Oh, he has a 50% knockout ratio. And then when the lights came on and that game plan was implemented, you saw a whole new Shakur Stevenson. So different fighters bring out different attributes on a fight-by-fight basis on another fighter. Just because Canelo-Plant fought one way against Truax or Uzcategui or Medina, it doesn't mean he's gonna, do that against Canelo. If Canelo-Plant frees up when he hears a crowd and sees the lights get brighter than these usual fights, he will get knocked out clean. Well, that's any fighter. That's any fighter, truthfully. But that ain't happening to him. That's not happening. If Canelo's banking on that happening to beat Canelo-Plant, he's gonna be waiting a long, long time. Like all hate aside, Stevenson Valdez was also a 50-50 fight for me. Stevenson Valdez is not close to 50-50 fight for me. 50-50 fight for me. That's a 70-30 fight for Shakur. That's a straight 70-30 fight for Shakur. You saw what Robinson Conceicao did to Valdez. He exposed Valdez. I thought he beat him easily. Caleb Ed Plant is going to crumble under the lights. He looked too nervous on Showtime All Eyes with the cameras around, and Canelo gets better under the lights. No, he probably just got pissed off that these motherfuckers be following him around all day, man. Have y'all ever seen? Listen, until you've actually seen how much these all-access cameras follow these fighters around, you can't blame Caleb or any fighter for that matter for looking crazy in the all-access. It gets annoying. Like these people from all-access, they come to your house at like 8 in the morning. If you go anywhere, they follow you. This, that. It's really draining. Like I had a chance to see what that's kind of like with Rolly recently, and Jesus Christ, man, it's ridiculous. That's what I'm saying. Caleb got that dog in him. There's a video of him beating the fuck out of a guy in the street who had a knife. Yeah, if you ain't seen that video, go ahead and watch it. Ella Mayer, I remember when Valdez said him versus Shakur will be Castilla versus Mayweather. He said, and he'd outbox Shakur. But freaking, what's his name? Shakur, Mayweather outboxed his ass in the rematch. Schooled him. Where's Pops? And Mariah Carey is my wifey in my head. Where's Pops? Pops is back home in South Florida. We're in Vegas right now, Ben. I think the last time you were on here, I was still in Florida. So yeah. Have you met AJ or Eddie Hearn? I actually I met Eddie Hearn quite a few. I never met AJ, but I met Eddie Hearn. See, since 2016, let's see. I met Eddie Hearn at the WBC convention. I met him at the Jacobs Arias fight. I met Eddie Hearn about 6 or 7 times, like a lot. Eddie Hearn knows who I am. I know who he is. Eddie Hearn's been following me on Instagram for like 4 years, at least about 4 years. He watches my stories, so he's very familiar with me. I actually talked to Eddie Hearn last week. Last week I talked to Eddie Hearn. I was trying to get a fighter to sign with him, but he said there was no room for this fighter. So I'm kind of pissed off about him because with some of the fighters he's got in his stable, like for him to reject this fighter, he's an idiot. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Realistically, who should Boots fight next? I'll like to see Boots fight either Blair Cobbs or Butiev next. I think those are two realistic fights for him. You know, Blair Cobbs is a fighter that he's very chinny, but he's got a lot of personality. He comes to fight, got a big heart, looking for a big test. And what better way to test him than against a guy like Jaron Ennis? You know, I think that'd be a good fight because as you guys saw, if you've seen the video, when they were talking to each other, he kind of brought out more of Boots' personality, and Boots is like, this ain't wrestling. I'll put you in a body bag. What coffee do you want? Like, it was really entertaining, the back and forth they had. So I feel like that'd be a good build up. That would be a very, very just a fun fight, you know. Real fun fight. What is your Canelo versus Plant prediction? Canelo versus Plant prediction? The same prediction I've had since the fight got signed. Canelo-Plant versus Canelo Alvarez. Canelo-Plant winning by 116, 112 UD. Easy money. Easy money. But I don't bet though. So I'm saying easy money, but I'm not betting. Why are people calling Delorme a fake Puerto Rican? I don't know, man. You gotta take that up with them. You know, a lot right now, man, these Puerto Rican fighters these days are you know, freaking Puerto Rican fighters yesteryear are rolling in their grave with how trash these Puerto Rican fighters are performing in these fights. Like, they're really, really, really tripping, man. It's getting ridiculous. Why didn't Boots mention Virgil Ortiz when he was calling those guys out in his post-fight interview? Probably because these guys that he called out make more money, and he wants those big money fights. Virgil, listen, he could call him out if he wants to. It doesn't really matter. Golden Boy's not putting Boots in there with Virgil until time is right, and vice versa. It's not happening when Boots until Boots Boots people won't do the same thing either. So, you know, I want to see the fight. I personally think Boots will beat Virgil. You know, Virgil's good though. Virgil's a fantastic fighter, and I think boxing needs that fight. Personally, I hope they fight, and I hope the first fight's very close, and I hope that boxing can have a 2-fight, 3-fight trilogy with those two. He said, easy work. Yeah, you owe your subscribers an apology when Canelo gets the win. No, not all of them, because a lot of my subscribers are picking Canelo-Plant, so I only owe a couple of subscribers an apology. But yeah, well, I'm entitled to my opinion. Why do all these channels get to dick ride Canelo Alvarez and say he's gonna beat Canelo-Plant because he's a C-class fighter, and they can just disrespect Plant and call him a trash fighter? They talk about Canelo-Plant as if he's Callum Smith or Avni Yoldum or Rocky Fielding. So they can do that, but I can't say that Canelo-Plant's gonna win 8 rounds. You only need 7 to win a fight, and I think he's winning 8. Based on your predictions, you're saving yourself a lot of money by not betting. So you mean the so earlier this year, what, Josh Taylor versus Ramirez, got that right. Fear versus Wilder 3 by knockout, got that right. Ryan Garcia versus Luke Campbell, got that right to the T, to the very round. So listen, I would make a lot of money if I bet on boxing, straight up. Yeah, I'd lose some money, but everyone loses money betting on boxing. Nobody knows truthfully what's going to happen when you bet on boxing. But I guarantee you, if I bet on boxing, I win more money than I lost. Easy money. Like, but again, it's not. I don't really give a fuck about betting because, like I said, I'm not gonna explain it to you guys. I made a video on this already. If you want to know why I don't, just go to the video. We escape cycling. You know, based on your predictions, you're saving yourself a lot of money by betting. I don't gotta bet on boxing. I got people like you here watching me on YouTube, putting money in my pocket. So it's I got you. You're doing it for me. I don't gotta be right about boxing. The most ironic thing is most YouTube channels are going against Canelo. You're entitled, but saying it's easy work is a slap in the face to Canelo, who should easily be pound for pound number 1 when he wins. Canelo Alvarez will not be pound for pound number 1 if he wins this fight. Terrence Crawford won't be pound for pound number 1 if he beats Sean Porter by knockout. Who else? Josh Taylor won't be pound for pound number 1 if he beats Jack Catterall next. No fighter in boxing will be pound for pound number one based on what they do this year. That crown and that throne belongs to Alexander Usyk. And if you want to pass Alexander Usyk, either he's got to lose to Joshua, or somebody's got to do something really special. So until that happens, Usyk right now got the throne. You're talking about a guy that already went undisputed in a weight class. You're talking about a guy that did it in 15 fights. He didn't need 60 professional fights to attempt to become undisputed, because you guys are dick riding Canelo Alvarez for attempting to become undisputed. It's taken him 60 fights to attempt to be undisputed when he could have did it a while ago, against Boo Boo Andrade. You know what I'm saying? But he's already been undisputed at cruiserweight. He's gone to everybody's backyard. I mean, he went to Marius Breedis' backyard. He went to Marco Huck's backyard. He went to Michael Hunter's backyard. He's been to everybody's backyard. Went to AJ's backyard. Went to Bellew's backyard. So undisputed at cruiserweight. Made a title defense as an undisputed champion at cruiserweight. And I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe he's only one of 2 cruiserweights in history to do that. Holyfield didn't even do that, because Holyfield won the belts at cruiserweight and dropped them and went up to heavyweight. He didn't win the belts at cruiserweight against Cowie and Ricky Parkey and Carlos De Leon, defend them, then move up. He won the belts, dropped them, and moved up. So there's a big difference. So he's staked his claim as arguably the greatest fighter in the history of an entire weight class. So that's brownie points for Usyk. And he's beat undefeated champion in their prime. He didn't wait. He didn't fight them when it was to his best convenience. He fought them when they were at their best. Then he goes to heavyweight. Okay, yeah, he had a bad showing in the Chaz Witherspoon fight, still won. And then he beat Derek Chisora, who is one of the better heavyweights out there, in his first real test. Then he beats Anthony Joshua to become unified champion. We're talking about the only man in the history of boxing not named Evander Holyfield to unify the cruiserweight division and unify the heavyweight division. Come on, man. There's no way in hell if you've watched boxing, if you're watching Usyk's career and you've watched Canelo's career, there's no way on God's green earth that you could put Canelo over Usyk. Bro, Canelo Alvarez, if he wins this fight, he's just catching up to Usyk, Crawford, Taylor, and Teofimo, because all these guys have all went undisputed before Canelo with less fights. So he's just doing what they already did. So how the hell does that put him above these guys? And don't tell me the resume thing, because his resume is not that impressive. It's not that great when you look at the context. It's a lot of big names, but come on, man. He fought Khan, cherry-picked him. Fought Yildirim, cherry-picked him. Tried to delay the Golovkin fight. Listen, y'all have short memories. Did y'all forget that Canelo Alvarez threatened to never fight Golovkin if Golovkin never fought him at 155? Did y'all forget that? Got me fired up for this week, man. I see my boy Felipe. Where you at, champ? Where you at? I saw your comment. Where's Felipe's comment? I saw his comment. He says, bro, if Canelo-Plant wins on the cards, it will be a draw. Canelo always has the judges paid off. 114 versus Floyd, 117, 111 versus Lara and GGG, and the list goes on and on and on. But it's true. But he's fighting on the PBC platform, and I really think people are underestimating the marketability of Plant, and they're gonna make us. If he does enough to earn that the victory, he's getting it come Saturday. Canelo has historically struggles against boxers who can move and have good defense. Canelo can be outboxed, but will the judges go against him in the decision? I believe it's happening. If he earns it, if Canelo-Plant earns the decision, then I think he'll get it. But we'll see. That's why we're tuning in. Who does Canelo have to beat to become the pound-for-pound king? And you already know the answers to this question. There's a combination of guys, but I'll give you the list in chronological order. Who he beats Demetrius Andrade, I put him right there, because I don't think he can beat him. I don't think he'll win 2 rounds. I don't think he'll win 3 rounds against Demetrius Andrade. He'll win less rounds against Demetrius Andrade than he's going to win against Canelo-Plant this week. He's never going to fight him. And he's telling you out of his own mouth. Any fighter who ducks the undefeated multiple division world champion, hold on, guys, in his weight class for half a decade can't be pound for pound number 1. He's automatically disqualified. So he's got to rectify that. At some point, he's got to rectify that, and he's got to fight Demetrius Andrade. Now you guys can say Boo Boo ain't fought nobody, but Boo Boo's beating the guys put in front of him. Now, I'll tell you guys this. If Boo Boo somehow by, if somehow Jason Quigley beats Boo Boo Andrade, then, okay, maybe you have a point because he lost to Jason Quigley, so Jason Quigley's fight Canelo. But Demetrius Andrade, that's number one. Fight him. I think after that, if he could beat him and either one of the two light heavyweight champions, then I think Canelo Alvarez has an amazing claim to pound for pound number one. But right now, I mean, he's only attempting to do something that 4 other active fighters in boxing have already done. Crawford already became undisputed. Josh Taylor already became undisputed. Usyk became undisputed. Teofimo Lopez became undisputed. All these guys have already done that. So it's nothing new under the sun. We've seen what he's doing. But Usyk, he's doing things that we haven't seen since the days of Evander Holyfield. He's the only fighter in the history of boxing besides Holyfield to be unified cruiserweight champion and unified heavyweight champion. So I don't want to hear it. He said, so Boo Boo cherry picked by your logic. How? How did Boo Boo cherry pick? You can't cherry pick people if all the people you're fighting are, the top ranked guys and the mandatory guys and things like that. You can't cherry pick anybody if all the champions are ducking you. That's not how it works. Demetrius Andrade and Canelo Alvarez, from a political standpoint in boxing, are not in the same situation. Canelo Alvarez is the biggest money-making attraction in boxing. He's a network free agent, and he can dictate who he wants to fight, when he wants to fight him, at what weight class he wants to fight him. Demetrius Andrade is just a world champion that really doesn't sell the most, and that is scratching tooth and nail to get these guys in the ring. There's 2 different people. It's 2 different situations. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, nobody can say Boo Boo's been hasn't fought anyone because he's been flat out ducked. I mean, we're talking about avoided like the plague by all the top guys. Blatantly ducked by Golovkin and Canelo, who publicly turned down an easy unification fight. They don't want no smoke, man. They better. And I know for a fact that so much of the boxing industry, listen, with all due respect, Slugfest, I don't know what kind of angel dust or ganja they feeding you in Ohio, but if you think Demetrius Andrade ain't a good boxer, you really shouldn't watch boxing. You should go watch croquet. You should go watch soccer. You should go watch tennis. You should go watch anything but boxing. Anything but boxing. Who gives a fuck what people say in the comments of fight highlights? As the great Roger Mayweather said, and I met Roger Mayweather, and he even told me that he even told me when I met him that I knew boxing. As the great Roger Mayweather would say, most motherfuckers don't know shit about boxing. So who cares? If Canelo's this great fighter and he's this loud mouth that can't beat him, then beat the shit out of him and move on. The same way you treated Yildirim and Fielding, beat him and move on. That's all we're asking. Keep that same energy. Keep that same energy. Smoking some good shit, man. I don't know what he's smoking. He's smoking that California guava kush right now because he ain't thinking with logic and common sense right now. If you think Canelo is not that good or not better than Andre, you might be smoking crack. Well, I'm not gonna say who is or who isn't better, but I want to. Unlike you and a lot of boxing fans, I'm willing to find out. I just want to see these fights happen. If he beats him, cool. If he loses to him, cool. But I just want to see the fight happen. All right, he over there smoking that guava Cali Kush. He over there smoking cookies, talking about Demetrius Andrade ain't a good fighter. Okay, well, riddle me this: if he's not a good fighter, how many active boxers are there in the world? Okay, answer that question. How many active boxers are there in the world? I'm not just talking about champions. I'm not just talking about the guy you see on TV. Do you know how many active fighters there are in boxing? There's so many people that have taken that walk and then become professional fighters, right? And they all start off with the goal of one goal, which is to become world champion. And such a small, minute, minuscule percentage of those fighters become world champion. Okay, and even a smaller, minuscule, minute percentage of those fighters become 2-division world champion. Now, you can discredit it all you want, but anybody who becomes a 2-division champion had to have some sort of quality to do it. Even Adrian Broner, even Leo Santa Cruz, even guys that I don't think the most of. These guys had to have some sort of quality that got them to that level. They weren't bums. They sure as hell weren't bums, because a bum is not going to win a world title on accident twice. That's not how. Now you might do it once, maybe Charles Martin, he got a world title by circumstance and by the glass god breaking his leg, but that's a unique situation. But if you're a fighter that takes that walk of trying to become world champion, and you do it in 2 multiple weight classes, I'll be damned if I hear any of these punk ass boxing fans say, "Oh, he's not a good fighter." No, motherfucker, you're not a good fighter. Y'all got me in rare form tonight. But I'm having fun. Shout out to everybody here. It's all love. Swippy says, I think Josh Taylor is the most underrated fighter right now. What about you? Listen, anybody who knows me, who's watched my content, anybody who knows me knows for a fact that I'm the president of the Josh Taylor fan club here in America. I've been singing the praises of Josh Taylor for a long time. He's a great fighter, man, and he's done what Canelo is just now trying to do in the 60th fight. How many fights Josh Taylor got? Like, y'all talking about how Canelo is this great fighter. Motherfucker just now trying to be undisputed in 60 fights. How many fights does Josh Taylor have? I bet you Josh Taylor don't even have a third of those fights. Maybe what? He don't even got a third of Canelo's fights and has already accomplished more in boxing than Canelo Alvarez, being undisputed. So I don't want to hear it. Canelo Alvarez is just now trying to do in a 60th fight what Josh Taylor did in his 18th. Josh Taylor's the truth. Josh Taylor is one of the realest fighters in boxing today. And Josh Taylor is, if he's not already the greatest fighter in the history of Scotland, he's well on his way to surpassing the great Ken Buchanan. You see. I think Andre is like Shakur, but he should and can walk people down. Those types of fighters have longer careers than those who stand in front of their opponents. I'm mad. I'm not mad. Listen. I'm not mad. I'm trust me. I'm not gonna get too deep into what happened to me today because I had something really great happen to me today. But literally, I have no reason to be mad. I'm not mad at all. I'm just a passionate. Listen, I'm a passionate, well-spoken individual. All right, I'm a passionate, well-spoken, intelligent individual, and you guys perceive it as being mad. But I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth, man. Canelo Alvarez is scared to death of Demetrius Andrade, and you can think of that what you want, but it's the truth. What's up, BT? What's up, BT? I know Andre got to fight November 19th, but do you think he might be at the post-fight press conference for what? Canelo? I hope so. Be great. That'd be amazing. It's possible. If I was him, I would do it just to stalk Canelo. Be a serial stalker. Stalk him. When Charlo fights again, stalk him. If you got to go to Japan to stalk Golovkin, stalk him. Right now, Josh Taylor is the most underrated fighter in the world. He should easily be top 3 pound for pound. Absolutely. I agree. So does resume matter or not? Because you're saying guys are great because of their accomplishments. Come on, BT. No. I'm using the Canelo Alvarez fan criteria for what makes fighters great. So they want to pull out the piece of paper and say resume, accomplishments. And I'm staying here telling you guys that this motherfucker is just now attempting in his 60th fight what Josh Taylor already has done in 18 fights. And y'all don't want to accept that. Y'all don't want to accept the stone cold truth. Resume matters if you're judging fighters going to the Hall of Fame. Should a guy be in the Hall of Fame? Should he have that honor of being a Hall of Famer? That's when resumes matter. But if we're talking about who can win a fight, between two fighters, it means fuck all. It means nothing. If you want to use resumes for pound, I think resumes do play a small percentage in pound for pound. That's why Demetrius Andrade is on my pound for pound list, even though I think he's a fantastic fighter. Demetrius Andrade can't be in my pound for pound list because, unfortunately for him, he hasn't gotten those big fights to prove his worth, to prove how good he is. Boo Boo turned on a lower fight because of style, then fought Jack Colque for style. He pulled out on Charlo. He's not a perfect sportsman himself. Yeah, well, the Charlo thing was down to the promotional situation. That's a whole different thing. And you talking about shit from years ago. He's with Eddie Hearn now. So what's the issue? Even if I give that to you, right? If I say, you know what, I give that to you, Boo Boo ducked these guys, right? Which I don't think he did. But if I give that to you, why haven't these guys stepped up when he signed? The minute he signed with Eddie Hearn, everybody should have been jumping up to fight Demetrius Andrade because there's no political issues. You're with Eddie Hearn. You're on the same network. So what's the issue? What's good, Diego? Shout out to my man, Diego. Probably one of the only 5 Canelo fans I actually like. Diego, Felipe's cousin Pete. There's like 5 Canelo fans I like. Diego is one of the very few Canelo fans I like because Diego actually knows a little bit about boxing. You know, he knows some boxing. I could have fun talking to Diego. You know, Diego A says, my boy Milhouse. Yeah, hey, I want y'all. Hey, somebody in my comment section on a video said I look like Milhouse from The Simpsons. Do you guys think I look like Milhouse from The Simpsons? Type in yes or no. He ducked Laura, but he never brings up. He didn't duck Laura. He didn't duck Laura. He never said he wouldn't fight him. He just said he was boring. Canelo said that he would never fight Andre. Oh, and Kelmer. You're right, Kelmer. So Kelmer, Diego, and Pete. Those are the only 3 Canelo fans I like. Boo Boo Andre was a defending champion, and Charlo was going to get paid more than him. Andre's promoter at the time was a complete bull, so that's why the fight didn't. Exactly. Anybody who knows anything about Andre's career at that time, now we got to place some blame on Andre. He's not off the hook either. He made some stupid, I'm talking about grade A, stupid business decisions in his career. He was signed to Banner Promotions and Rock Nation at the same time. And they really fucked his career up. They messed his career up badly. But yeah, you guys tell me this. I'm gonna ask the Canelo fans this, okay? If Canelo Alvarez was fighting Canelo-Plant right now, and Canelo-Plant was making $30 million and Canelo was making $6 million, would you have a problem with that? Because if your answer is yes, Canelo is the A side, then there was perfect reason for Demetrius Andre to not fight Charlo because he was the champion. Charlo was a nobody. He was just a good, solid contender. He was a nobody. But yeah, Kelmer, Pete, and Diego, the only Canelo fans I like. But yeah, it's all love, man. I listen, at the end of the day, I'm just a boxing fan. I don't watch this sport just because, you know, of a fighter. I don't watch this sport because of, you know, I want to know if America has the best fighters. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I mean, if the American fighters win, then I like them, cool. If they lose, that's cool too. At the end of the day, I just want to know what's the truth, and I want to know who's the best. So if Canelo says he's the best, then I want to see him fight the guys that are the top of his weight division. So like, you know, Boo Boo Andre qualifies. You can't say a guy that's been undefeated and multi-division champion, that's been in the same weight class as Canelo, has even had a title. He's even had a world title at certain points of his career when Canelo didn't have a title, and Canelo wants to go fight James Kirkland. You can't tell me that he don't deserve a fight. We're not doing that. That's one thing we're not going to do. You can say that Canelo's going to beat him. You can say he's overrated. I got no problem with that. But you cannot be intellectually disingenuous and say, oh, well, he don't deserve the fight. There's no A-side or B-side arguments unless you've done 1 million or more pay-per-views like Canelo. Bring it negative. You're wrong. There's always in boxing. There's always A-side and B-side. Motherfucker, if you watch some of these Eddie Hearn cards when they have fights for the British title, there's A side and B side. When Isaac Chamberlain fought Lawrence Okoli, yes, Isaac Chamberlain was a contender. Yes, he was an undefeated young prospect like Lawrence Okoli, and it was a good match to fight, even though it turned out to be one of the worst fights of all time. But make no mistake about it, Lawrence Okoli was the A side of that fight. He's the Olympian. He's the guy that Eddie Hearn signed straight from pro debut. They put more money behind him. He's managed by Anthony Joshua. There's A sides and B sides in all kinds of fights. The only times you're not going to get A side or B side fights is when you watch like those UFC Fight Pass cards or like, you know, them Showbox cards. And even sometimes on those cards, there's A side and B side. So please, I love you, Dundada. I really do appreciate your sentiments and your comments. Don't give me that there's no A side, B side unless there's 1 million pay-per-view buys. There's A sides and B sides at almost every level of boxing. Oh my God! All right, I'm not even gonna acknowledge that. You're gonna be on that bullshit, Diego. You go. The only reason I know you is because of the Andre Canelo thing. So listen, we're not gonna agree on that. Because Omni Yildirim didn't sell no big numbers. Fielding didn't sell no big numbers. Fucking Alfredo and Gulo didn't sell no big numbers, you know. That's fair to say, BT. If you say you're the best, fight the best. But to say Canelo ducked is false advertising. Why is Andrade just now pulling up on Canelo? Bro, Boo Andre was calling out Canelo in 2016. You can see the interview on the Boxing Voice. It's like it's not new. It's not new. When maybe he wasn't pulling like he's in it. Listen, this is why he's in a no-win position, because look, people who think he sucks and want to see him fail, they say, oh well, he shouldn't call out Canelo. He should focus on the Charlos and he should focus on Golovkin, right? But then when he was calling out the Charlos, right, when he went to the press conference and he was trying to make those fights happen still, you know, the fights didn't happen. Yeah, I know he pulled out, whatever. But how come Jermell Charlo didn't keep that same energy with Boo Andrade that he did with Tony Harrison? Tony Harrison pulled out of the fight because if you guys remember, Tony Harrison and Charlo fought in the rematch December of 2019. Their fight was initially scheduled for June of 2019. That's why Charlo wanted him having to fight Jorge Cota, and he got the knockout. He didn't have no problems when Tony Harrison pulled out, and he said in the press conference that it was a fake injury, this, that, and the third, but he was more than happy to oblige Tony Harrison. So how come he couldn't do that with Demetrius Andrade? He still uses that as a crutch. You know, come on, man, keep that same energy. See, you asked me if would I be mad if Canelo? You asked me if I would be mad if Canelo would be paid a little. Oh, okay, my bad, bro. Yeah, man, like everybody would say that's wrong because he's done all this stuff. And listen, obviously I'm picking Canelo-Plant to win this week, but I still stand by this. I think Demetrius Andrade is the biggest threat to Canelo. Though the rest I think Canelo beats easily. See, this is why Kelmer is respectable. This is why Kelmer is respectable, because Kelmer is an honest Canelo fan. Now, obviously, he rates Canelo's skills. And listen, you should rate Canelo's skills. Canelo is probably one of the best fighters at methodically breaking fighters down in boxing right now. You can't take that from him. You can't. You can hate him all you want. You can say he stuck needles in his ass and, you know, he had computerol and he cherry picked and he does diva shit. But you can't take away that he is a damn good fighter. We can't take that from him. I still want to see it happen. Win, lose, or draw against Plant. I still want to see Canelo versus Andrade. Y'all mad that Canelo is marketable while Andrade is fighting in a place I've never heard of and has a stat card just to bring your eyes. Well, listen, I used to live in New Hampshire, so I know all about where he's fighting. But yeah, it's a place that most people haven't been to. And Eddie Hearn, fuck, man. Eddie Hearn has really pissed me off in this last week or so with the interaction I had with him. Because I had a slam dunk fighter. I just gifted to him, and he was like, "Oh, we don't have enough room for him." But he's over here promoting the Bromford Bull and all this stuff. Canelo versus Charlo. Who wins and how? I got Canelo. I don't think Jermall Charlo is all that good. I think Jermall Charlo is a above average fighter, but I don't think he's a great fighter. Listen, to me, I think to be Canelo Alvarez, you got to be a creme de la creme skill set fighter. I don't think Charlo got it. Charlo don't even believe in himself. But it is what it is, man. Canelo ducked Andrade. You know, it's a concrete fact. And I'm not making it up. I'm not making it up. He's telling you himself. If he didn't come out himself and say, I'm never going to fight him, he's boring, he fights with anybody, this, that, and the third, then I would say, you know what, maybe you guys are right and I'm just hating. But, you know, he's doing the work for me. And I disagree. I think Canelo beat the shit out of Benavidez. Creme of the creme. Yeah, listen, I'm not a hater. I know people say, well, you just a hater and you're just preying on his downfall. Listen, man, I live a great life outside of YouTube. I got a lot of people who love me. I got great friends. I'm honored to do this here on YouTube. I've got a great fight. There's so many things in my life to be happy about. I don't have enough time or energy to fucking hate anybody, let alone Canelo the way I do. I just don't like the way he moves outside of boxing in his career, and I would like to see him fight Demetrius Andrade. That's all it is. It's all boxing talk. But he's a fantastic fighter, and he's capable of beating anybody from 160 to 175. Absolutely. But I'm not going to sit here and act like he has to, you know, sidestep certain fighters. Canelo would have been food in the James Toney, Murray Jones, Mike McCallum era. Funny enough, you mentioned Mike McCallum. I actually have an interview with Mike McCallum coming out soon. I interviewed Mike McCallum because I ran into him at the gym, and he says he told me he would have beat the brakes off Canelo. He said he would have folded up Canelo like a blue steel chair. Because listen, when we talk about Mike McCallum, we're talking about the best junior middleweight there ever was, the body snatcher, Jamaica's very own. That would have been a good one. But yeah, Mike McCallum himself told me last week I would have beat the brakes off Canelo. I would have broke him down and folded him up. So we got some confirmation on that. He says, I got Bivol over Canelo if the fight ever happens. I don't know, man. Bivol, I think slipping a little bit. Bivol, I would give a good chance, but I think it's I slightly favor Bivol, but not by a lot. Not by a lot. I think Andre's a tougher fight for him. James Toney is a drug cheat. McCallum's a strong guy. McCallum was the truth. Mike McCallum was the truth. Benavidez beats Canelo. Absolutely not. Dave Benavidez would get absolutely massacred by Canelo Alvarez. You know, that high guard defense. You're going to come here like this. And Dave Benavidez is overrated, man. I'm sorry. Like, I like him. He's good. He's got some talent, but it's getting to a point now where people are overrating him. This the same guy in Benavidez who was just about to fight Jose Uzcategui. Then he could have fought Lionel Thompson, you know, but no, he want to fight Kyron Davis, blowing up 54-pounder. You know, there's this narrative that he's this killer, but then that Canelo-Plant is ducking him. But his own damn promoter, Samson Likowitz, said just last year, "Oh, we need more time. We're not ready for that fight." Come on, man. Listen, I dislike Canelo as much as the next guy, but David Benavidez don't got a snowball's chance in hell of beating Canelo Alvarez. If y'all want to know a fight that I would bet on for sure, I would bet my whole life savings on it. I'll bet Canelo beat David Benavidez if I had to bet on one fight. Easy money. David Benavidez, man. The guy that got dropped by Gavril, that guy, he's not beating Canelo. The guy that had to give Ronald Gavril a rematch because the fight was so close. I know a lot of people will say, well, oh, BT, what about when Boo Boo fought Vanes Martirosyan? He dropped Boo Boo. But nah, I just went back and rewatched that fight a week ago. Boo Boo beat him pretty easily. Boo Boo won about 8 rounds of that fight. Because Vanes Martirosyan couldn't follow up with anything. Like he got that knockdown, but like, and it was an ugly fight. Like, don't get it twisted. Boo Boo looked like shit in that fight. Looked horrible, but he was winning the rounds. Like everybody wants to talk about how Benavidez is this fear guy. Oh, Benavidez, nobody wants to fight him. Nobody wants, and then he kind of starts to stroke the he makes the flames even hotter himself. He goes in these interviews, right? His own fucking promoter, Samson Likowitz, just came out last year and said, we're not fighting Canelo-Plant in 2020. We need more time, right? But then he goes in his interviews and he's like, yeah, you know, I want to fight all these guys, man. I want to fight these guys. I want to get the fans the exciting fights. You know, I'm ready for all these guys. You know, I'll fuck up Canelo-Plant. I'll send him to the hospital. He's a fucking pussy. Like that. These are the things he says in his interviews. But this is the same guy. This is the same David Benavidez who, you know, you guys talking about him fighting Canelo. He's taking Canelo Alvarez sparring partners 11 rounds. He took Ronald Ellis 11 freaking rounds. His next fight, he's fighting a blown up, like I'm talking about blown up, stick the helium in him, you know, blown up 154-pounder in Kyron Davis. He could be fighting Lonnie B. Thompson, who, you know, people can have their opinions on, but I think Lonnie B. Thompson is one of the better 168-pounders out there. That surely would have been better than Kyron Davis. And you could even argue it would be better than Uzcategui because Uzcategui has already lost to Canelo-Plant and he's already lost to Lonnie Thompson. So there's fights out there for him. Let me see. Hold on. Who else? Let me see. Let's continue to look through this man's resume. Like I used to be a big Dave Benavidez fan, but man, people have just been overrating him so much. It's been getting like annoying. Like you talking about this guy beating Canelo. This guy fought Dennis Douglas, Mama's boy, on short notice, and Dennis Douglas was giving him hell until he got tired. Freaking same thing happened when he fought Gavril. Gavril dropped his ass, won by split decision. He had to give him a rematch. And then after, listen, y'all not picking up on this pattern, but literally for 3 fights, for 3 fights, I'll say 2 fights. I won't say the third one, but then 2 fights after that, he's fighting these guys that did the best boxing 10 years ago. In Jalen Love and Darrell. You can say what you want about Boo Boo Andre's resume and question like who he's fought and whatnot, but at least he's fighting these guys when they're at a good age of their career. This guy's fighting Jalen Love. Jalen Love, bro. Jesus Christ. Like, y'all got to start separating fact from fiction. Like, y'all got to separate fact from fiction. Like, he's a very talented fighter. I still feel like there's room to grow, but to say he's going to beat Canelo is ridiculous. He don't got the style to do it, and he's already shown in his career he doesn't have the tools yet. Like I don't even think he'd beat Plant, to be honest with you. That's why and listen, if his manager believed he could beat Plant right now, the fight would have happened before Canelo got to 168, you know? But don't take my word for it. Do your own research. BT, that's how I feel about Shakur and Ennis. I like the fighters, but the fans are annoying. Yeah, I could definitely see what you're saying. I rate the hell out of Boots, and I rate the hell out of Shakur. The Shakur thing is, you know, I met Shakur when he was a young man before he even went to the Olympics, and I just got the sense that I was in the presence of somebody who was destined for greatness. You know, I have a pretty good feel for these kind of things. And, you know, so far, so good. You know, he still got time to go. He still got a lot to prove. He still got to beat better fighters than Jamel Herring, but I think he's off to a decent start. I mean, people are giving Navarrete all this credit for beating Pitufo Diaz and Joel Gonzalez, and Shakur already beat those guys. So if you add those guys along with Jamel Herring, 2-division champion, undefeated, the best plus-minus ratio in boxing, I think his career is off to a pretty good start. But there's obviously still a lot of work to do. And he said, "You sound exactly like him." Yeah, man. I listened to his interviews, and I want to freaking, if I had any hair, I'd freaking pull it out because I know the truth. Like, you freaking are not going to get a fight against Canelo-Plant because your manager, Samson Likowitz, does not believe that you can beat him right now. You need more time. So that's why you're fighting Gervonta Davis, who is a blown-up 54-pounder, when in all actuality, if you're not going to fight Uzcategui, the best thing you could have did on short notice is fight a guy that's known for taking short notice fights and winning them and giving guys hard fights on short notice. And that would have been Lonnie Thompson. But did we get that fight? No, we got a blown-up 54-pounder. So not trying to hear it, you know. I want to fight these guys, man. You know, I think I'm the best fighter in the world. You know, these guys are pussies, man. Canelo-Plant's a pussy. I'll send him to the hospital, man. You know, I want to get the fans the exciting fights. I don't want to hear all that bullshit. Like, just stop fighting 54-pounders or old men. Can Boo Boo Andre sell an Airbnb, BT? I'm confident he can, champ. I'm confident he can. I'm glad that Nigel Benn fucked up Joe McClellan. He used to hurt dogs, and I'm an animal lover. I'm so glad Joe McClellan is fucked up. That's what Tyan Booth used to always say in his video. Shout out to Tyan Booth. Benavidez also isn't dedicated like Canelo. That's what I'm saying. Like, y'all talking about this guy like he's this killer. He don't even respect the sport of boxing enough to make weight and train properly, you know? And you want to compare him? Like, look, you can say what you want about Canelo, but one thing I'm never going to take away from Canelo is that boy, his work ethic is crazy. He works hard. He's a gym rat. He trains his ass off. Same thing goes for the guy he's fighting being Caleb-Plant, works hard, gym rat, trains his ass off. David Benavidez, man, he got one title. Who did he even win this title against? I'm gonna use what you guys say about Boo Boo Andre. Who did he even win his title against? Who did he win his title against? He won his title against who? What was it? Was it Graville? I hope it wasn't Graville. It was against Graville. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yo, y'all sit here, and y'all talk all this shit about Demetrius Andre winning vacant belts. All right, y'all talk all this shit about Demetrius Andre winning vacant belts. And this motherfucker David Benavidez beat Ronald Graville for a vacant title, and y'all don't say nothing? Y'all don't say a damn thing about that. Y'all don't say anything about that. He fought Ronald Graville, a Samstown fighter, a showbox fighter on his best night for a world title. And y'all over here making him out like he's some killer. Oh, he knocks out Jalen Love. Ooh, the same Jalen Love that got outboxed by Abraham Hahn and was lucky to win the fight, you know, a kickboxer. You know, Anthony Durrell, you know, went 9 rounds with the old Anthony Durrell. You know, the only 2 wins, his best boxing has come of late. He beat Romero Angulo, who was coming off a career best win against Anthony Sims Jr. Shut him out, beat him easily. To me, I think that's probably the best performance of his career. I can't hate on that win at all. Ronald Ellis, I mean, you find Canelo sparring partners and you go on 11 rounds with him. So, I mean, I just don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see there. I don't care how many times Benavidez goes. I don't care how many times Benavidez goes into a camera and says, "Yeah, I want to follow these guys, man. You know, Canelo Alvarez. You know, Caleb-Plant. Caleb-Plant, he's fucking me. He's a fucking pussy, man. I want to beat him. You know, I'll send him to the hospital. You know, now I got all the motivation in the world. Now that I got my girlfriend, and you know, I don't want to hear none of that bullshit, man. So I'm sick of the like. I like Benavidez so much. I like Benavidez. I actually like I like watching him fight. I love watching him fight. Okay. I mean, I really enjoyed him as a prospect. And I enjoyed him as a contender, but it's gotten to a point now where it's unbearable. Like, it is absolutely unbearable for me. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, bro. He won a vacant belt against Ronald Gavril, but he's a killer. I mean, the same things you guys say to me about Boo Boo Andrade, even though you guys lack context, you guys don't mention the fact that when Boo Boo fought Walter Crocodile for the title, it was supposed to be against Billy Joe, but Billy Joe tested positive PEDs. Y'all don't mention that part. And Benavidez is 24 and Andrade is 33, and they have fought about the same level of competition. No, they haven't, because Boo Boo Andrade is fighting guys that are ranked, that aren't old, that aren't, 10 years past their sell-by date. He's fighting guys that are actually in the weight class. Gervonta Davis is not a 68-pounder. He is a 54-pounder, blown up to 68. All right? Don't give me that, man. Please, for the love of God and everything that is righteous, good, and pure, do not give me that. All right? Ronald Ellis, man. Man, oh my God. I want to thank you guys for bringing up Benavidez. I just learned something about boxing I didn't even realize. Oh my God. Hold on. I gotta get up. I gotta pace back and forth. I cannot believe I just saw what I just saw. Did I just see what I just saw? Did I really just see what I think I just saw? Yo, y'all talking all this shit about Benavidez like he's beat these killers, right? I want to fight these guys, man. I want to have big fights. You're talking about Benavidez like he's done all these great things in boxing, right? And he's done some cool things. He's won some world titles. Like, he's a talented fighter. I'm not taking that from him. Bro, people want to gas up the Ronald Ellis win so much, right? And people want to hate on Caleb-Plant. They want to say, Caleb-Plant, he hasn't fought nobody, right? But like, Caleb-Plant told you guys in the speech, he said, what did he say? He said, I beat Jerry Odom. I beat Jerry Odom in the Nationals, the boogeyman. He was in all 3 finals of the major tournaments in the amateurs. I beat Jerry Odom. But you know who didn't beat Jerry Odom in the pros? Do you know who didn't beat Jerry Odom in the pros? Freaking Ronald Ellis. So you mean to tell me you're gassed off of David Benavidez beating a guy who couldn't beat Jerry Odom, who Caleb-Plant beat in the amateurs? I don't even want to hear it with you guys. I don't even want to hear it no more. He couldn't even beat Jerry Odom. You tell him, talk to him. I might just leave this coming up here. Caleb-Plant beat Jerry Odom. He beat Jerry Odom. He was in the listen. Jerry Odom really didn't do much in the pros from what I know, but he was a very good amateur. Caleb-Plant beat him at a very good point when he was in his amateur career. He got to the pros. Let's take a quick synopsis of the CV of Jerry Odom, because look, I respect all fighters. I'm not trying to shit on Jerry Odom. I'm just trying to let you guys know, like, sometimes these fighters are not who they claim to be. Like Ellis, Benavidez, talented fighter, a lot of upside, great hand speed, physically strong, does a lot of things in the ring that get people excited. I understand why people like him, but to sit here and say he's this killer when his own manager won't even put him there with Caleb-Plant, and his claim to fame is beating old guys that are 10 years past their prime, or beating Romanians for vacant titles, or beating guys, going 11 rounds with guys who struggle to beat Jerry Odom. I don't want to hear it no more. Let there be no discussion. All right, let there be no discussion no more, champ. I don't want to hear about Benavidez, because one of his best wins is against a guy who couldn't beat Jerry Odom in the pros. So I don't want to hear it. Caleb-Plant beat Jerry Odom. I'm not trying to hear this shit no more, man. Y'all got me fucked up today. Y'all got me messed up. But I appreciate everyone here, man. I'm having a fun time on the live. It's a great way to kick off the month here on True School Sports. It's gonna be a beautiful week. I'm telling y'all this, man. This is like, this is a tune-up for what's gonna happen later on this week. Like, we have so many great things on the horizon this week. Some things I can speak about, some things I can't speak about. But I promise you guys, please, like, I beg you, please just keep your eyes tuned to what happens on the channel this week, because it's going to be something special. But yeah, Jerry Odom. It's the same Jerry Odom that got knocked out by Samuel Clarkson. It's the same Jerry Odom that got knocked out by Tenayel. I can't even pronounce this guy's name, but he got knocked out by some guy on a Philadelphia club show. So please, man. Hey, you got to make a Benavidez role play or something. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I never realized probably until just now how good my David Benavidez impression is, because like maybe I'll do a video. Maybe I'll do a video on here. David Benavidez signs a Bob Arum, because I can do the Bob Arum impression, and I can do the David Benavidez. So yeah, we're gonna do that one day. David Benavidez signs a Bob Arum. You guys are gonna see it one day. It's gonna be a big ass clickbait article. Wow, like you know how the LDBC does that. Wow, David Benavidez signs a Bob Arum, and it's just gonna be me doing voiceovers of both of them. You know, we'll get a little monologue going. You know, like Bob Arum will be there, like, you know, David Benavidez, we're signing you because you're a great Mexican fighter, and you always comes to fight, and we're happy to have you with Top Rank Boxing. He's like, yeah, you know, I'm really excited to be with Bob Arum. You know, he's a great promoter. He's promoted a lot of great fights, a lot of great Mexican fighters like Morales and Barrera. And I just want to be in exciting fights, and I feel like Bob's gonna get me there. Trust me, David. Trust me. We will definitely be getting you the fights. If you want the fight against Johnny Beck, Amlum Kali from Kazakhstan, we can get you that fight. Yeah, you know, I never really heard of Johnny Beck, but you know, I know he's ranked. I'll definitely, you know, get in the ring with him. You know, listen, at the end of the day, Bob, like, I'll fight anybody except Canelo-Plant, because Canelo-Plant's a fucking pussy. You know, if Canelo-Plant had the balls, like, I would put him in the hospital. Oh man, I'm having fun right now, man. I'm having fun. You know, they better be. Yeah, y'all might got a super chat me for these impressions, man. That's an A1 impression. Y'all might got a super chat me for that for that impression. That shit is crazy. Yeah, Dundada. Shout out to Dundada out there in the DMV. He says, Lil BT, I love talking shit on here with you in the chat. Absolutely. Listen, at the end of the day, it's just boxing talk. It's all fun. We all go through crazy shit in our lives that are bigger than boxing. And if you can come here, guys, and you can have some fun, and we can, you know, if you can come on here and just like, it makes your lives better in any way. That's really what I'm here to do. Just give great boxing talk, and yeah. Now, a lot of you guys have been asking me what's happening with Isaac Cruz and Tank. Yeah, Isaac Cruz is fighting Tank. They I know that was the initial topic of this live, and then we kind of got caught up doing impressions and all these things with Benavidez and Bob Arum. But yeah, no, Isaac Cruz is fighting Tank. He was announced as the replacement opponent today. Rolly came out with a statement today, and he basically said that he's not going to be fighting Tank. He feels like it's in his best interest to not go through with the fight, and he's going to go to court and try to fight. So that's what it is, you know. What's good? That's good, John. Yeah. That's good. But yeah, Chance Dawson says, send me the link to talk. You know what? Fuck it, let's do it, man. Because my freaking throat hurts. So I might just want to hear from you guys. I don't even want to talk right now as much. I want to hear from you guys. You know. I'm gonna do it one at a time though, because I don't like the whole like having 4 people on. We'll do it one at a time. We'll go like, you know, you get 15 to 20 minutes at max, maybe 10 to 15 minutes at max, and then we'll move on to the next. So listen, we're gonna do it, man. We're gonna open it up. Let's get it going. There's a link. Y'all want to talk? We here, man. You know, if y'all want to meet Dave, Bob Arum, David Benavidez, look, I can introduce you to him. Hey Bob, you want to meet them? BT, who are we gonna meet today, BT? Is it a Puerto Rican fighter? Damn, all the best for Rolly. I hope they're just false allegations. We'll see, man. You know, listen, to me, I don't even think, look, they could be true, they could be false. To me, it's just the timing of it all. I think both of these go is horrible, because I don't really think they care about what's good and righteous and pure. I think they just want to check. That's just my opinion. But you know, crucify 584 if you want, but it is what it is. What are your plans for this week? So Tuesday, Johnny, where are we going tomorrow? Salas. We're going to Salas tomorrow? I believe. So tomorrow I'm going to the Salas boxing gym. At some point I'm going to see Angelo Leo, probably get some sparring in with him. We'll see what's up for the week with Canelo. Yeah, I'll probably go to some of the Canelo-Plant Canelo fight week stuff. I got some other plans too, but I can't really talk about those because that's private. I got some. Listen, I got some real good plans on. But I don't know if it's Thursday or Friday. But man, there's some amazing plans. They're the best plans I've ever had in my life. But I can't speak about them. Anyway, yeah, the Salas Boxing Gym, man. It's a great gym. And by the way, Chance, I see you, Chancellor. I see you in the thing. I can't click on it because it says your device isn't connected. So please sort that out so I can get you in here. But yeah, the Salas Boxing Gym is a great gym. It's one of the best boxing gyms I've ever been to. It's very small, very intimate, but a lot of good fighters there. You get to see world-class sparring. Like I've seen Ugas spar there. I've seen Abraham Martinez spar there. I've seen Luis Arias spar there. I mean, it's probably the best sparring I've ever seen, maybe ever, in all the gyms I've gone to. A lot of it has been at the Salas Boxing Gym. So I'm hoping to go there and run into Joe Joyce because I know that Joe Joyce is training there. Canelo versus Plant. The weigh-in is always the plug. Are you going? If it is, I'll definitely be there. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'll be there to ask all the Canelo fans what they're gonna say when Canelo-Plant beats Canelo. You know, I'm gonna try to do what I did last time when I was in Texas. You know, go and ask the Canelo fans questions and just have a lot of fun doing it. You know, it was a lot of fun last time. I believe it'll be a lot of fun this time, and it's always a great time. You know, it's crazy on YouTube, right? I get a lot of these crazy like Canelo fans, and they say real disrespectful things. But the Canelo fans that actually have the money to go to the fights, these people that I've met, that I've interacted with, are of great character, and they've been good to me. And I've told them straight up that I think Demetrius Andrade will beat Canelo, and I think Canelo's overrated, and things like that. And they're cool with it. You know, they're cool. They're great people. So it's going to show me that the Canelo fans that are, you know, angry are the ones that can't go to the fights. So make of that what you will. It's only the ones on the internet. Are you going to the press conference rematch on the 3rd? Probably not. If it's not open to the public, I probably won't be there. But if I can, great. All right, Chance, no problem. BT, how much do boxing trainers charge a novice beginner boxer? Well, there's no set concrete answer for that question. Every trainer is different. Now, I'll give you some examples, right? Some trainers I've seen train fighters for as little as, you know, $5 to $10 a day or a session or whatever, right? And then some trainers I know charge $100, $200, $300 a session. So it all comes down to the trainer. Trainers that have more name value, like I know trainers that train a lot of celebrities and they make a lot of money from training celebrities just to keep the celebrities in shape. And because of that, their name value goes up and their value goes up, so they charge more. So there's no set answer to that question. A lot of it depends on the trainer, who they've trained, what they, what kind of gym do they train out of? Is it a real boxing gym? Is it a boutique boxing gym? You know, these things all play a role into what they'll charge. So I don't really have a set answer for you on that one. Burchell versus Shakur and Valdez versus Navarrete. What are your thoughts? It's not what we wanted. You know, I know what Bob Arum is doing. He's trying to build the fight up to make it even bigger. So I get it from a business standpoint, but come on, man. We don't need to be playing around. Like, make the damn fights. Like, Navarrete is a 26-pounder going up to 30. You know, will it be a good fight against Valdez? Potentially. But I just, you know, I get it's all Mexican fights, so it'll sell well. I get it. But you're going to have Shakur fight Burchell's leftovers? Come on. I mean, not Burchell. Valdez's leftovers? I mean, come on, man. Make the fight that people want to see. I've seen a guy on YouTube who's extremely serious on saying that Rashidi Ellis beats Boots Ennis. Well, you know what? Look, I don't agree with that, but I don't think it's crazy. Rashidi Ellis is an amazing fighter. He's someone that I really feel, for whatever the case may be, he's been hard done by the boxing game. He's caught up in a bad contract with Golden Boy Promotions, because a lot of people sit here and say, oh, well, who should Virgil fight next? Virgil should fight Crawford. Virgil should fight Boots. Virgil should fight this. Virgil should fight that. Virgil should fight the motherfucker who's on the same promotional company as him, and that's Rashidi Ellis. That's really, if the boxing business were fair and just, he would be fighting Rashidi Ellis next. Rashidi Ellis is a fighter with a lot of ability. You know, his last fight last year, he fought undefeated prospect Alexis Rocha, who some people were high on, and beat the brakes off Alexis Rocha. You know, it was a good fight, but he beat him. And even Conor Benn, when I interviewed Conor Benn, if you guys go on my channel and you go watch my Conor Benn interview, he even said himself that Rashidi Ellis is a great young talent. He deserves to be put in the same breath as the Boots Ennises of the world and the Virgil Ortizes of the world. So I don't think that's crazy. I just think he just needs the right fights. He needs to get fights, period. Like he's been on the shelf for a year. And before that, he's had periods of inactivity. So I'm very high on Rashidi Ellis. I like him better than Ronald. You know, Ronald Ellis, as we've come to find out, couldn't even beat Jerry Odom in the pros. But Rashidi Ellis, he's of higher quality. And I agree with this. Ronald Ellis, I don't think he's big enough for 68, but he showed the durability, the heart, and the determination to, I think, be a problem at 60. And 160 is a weak ass weight class. I mean, you got Andrade, you got Golovkin, Murata, Charlo, you got Johnny Beck, Amnukoli. You know, maybe you could throw on a Felix Cash, but outside of that, 160 is weak. So I would definitely try to get down there. If I were him, I would get down there as soon as possible. Like as soon as possible. Nobody got Rashidi Ellis worse than Big Uncle Aaron Pryor. That broke my heart. What happened? Yeah, man, he should have got that fight. He should have got all those fights with Sugar Ray and all these guys, man. He's a fantastic fighter. You know, I know a lot of people feel some type of way about him because of what happened with Panama Lewis and the bottle incident and the pain medication. But all that aside, you know, it's like Canelo Alvarez has things we could criticize him for with clenbuterol, and you know, people accuse him of stacking his raps in the Liam Smith fight, the catch weights, all things you could criticize for Canelo for, but he's a good fighter. I can't believe I'm agreeing with you on this, but I agree. I agree with you on this. Jamal Charlo is the most overrated world champion in boxing. This guy is overrated, like so overrated. Like the way a lot of people feel about Bubu Andrade, that's how I feel about Charlo. I feel like Charlo has a good jab. He's got some good attributes, but there's just something missing. He's just missing that extra bit of quality. He's shown it in a lot of his fights recently, particularly with Montiel. They had matched him about 54 pounders. Like, say what you want about Bubu Andrade, but at least Bubu Andrade is fighting motherfuckers in his weight class. He's fighting the people in his weight class. He's not out here fighting the guys at 54 and bringing up the 60. He's fighting guys that are big and solid and physically strong, like Liam Williams. You know. Speaking of Liam Williams, I want to see Liam Williams fight Eubank. I think Liam Williams got what it takes to beat Eubank. What do you guys think? What do the people on the Untouchable think of Liam Williams being Eubank? And make sure you smash that like button. Take the time to subscribe. Super chat. If you feel led to get trigger happy with them super chats, all that stuff, man. Let me know where you're watching from. We're having a great time. The Charlos can't box. They're strong and have great jabs, but both have been outboxed badly. And that's why I truthfully think that neither one of them has a snowball's chance in hell of beating Demetrius Andrade. You're not beating Demetrius Andrade if you ain't got no boxing skills. You don't gotta have the A-class boxing skills, but you have to have boxing skills good enough to set up your power punches. And if you don't got that, you fucked. Like you might as well just pack it up and go home because you don't got it. You don't got it within your locker. I mean, a lot of people have been pushing for that fight, but who's Chris Eubank, bro? Chris Eubank is he's a good fight. He's a good name. It's a sellable fight. I won't be upset if it happens, but I'm not high on Eubank. Like I don't like that fight. Like I really don't. I really don't like that fight. Not because Andrade can't win, but because to me it's pointless. I would rather see Boo Boo against Johnny Beck Amnukoli, which I know isn't the most marketable fight, but it's a better, more competitive fight. I'd rather see Boo Boo Andrade against or you know what? I'd rather see Liam Williams against Chris Eubank. And the winner of that fight could fight Boo Boo. I know Boo Boo fought Liam already, but if he can't get no opponents, if Liam could beat a guy like Eubank, that proves he's at a certain level in boxing, and maybe he can get a rematch. I don't know. I'm throwing ideas out there. True School Sports Boxing Advisory. Free advice. But yeah, man. Unbelievable. Yo, I want to take a poll. You guys know Milhouse from The Simpsons? I want y'all to let me know this, man, because somebody told me that I look like Milhouse from The Simpsons. You know Milhouse? Like this guy, Milhouse. Let me see. I don't know if y'all can see. Hold on. Y'all see Milhouse? A lot of people say I look like Milhouse, right? Now look, Now here's a side-by-side comparison. Here's me and here's Millhouse. Do me and Millhouse look the same? Because this has been tripping me out. I never ever heard anybody say I look like Millhouse. I've heard people say I look like freaking Bruno Mars, Woody Harrelson, Where's Waldo, but never Millhouse. I mean, that I posted about it on Instagram today. I made a joke of it. But, I'm not mad because, as you can see, Millhouse has sauce. Millhouse be pulling bitches, so I like Millhouse. Millhouse is the man. So if you compare me to Millhouse, I'm taking it as a compliment because, as you can see, there's my evidence. Millhouse is out here pulling. He got the sauce. No, it's cool, man. I don't give a damn, man. Like I got no reason to be mad. I thought it was funny. I posted about it on Instagram. And listen, if you guys don't follow me at Instagram, you should really go follow me on Instagram because I'm on there all the time. So if anybody out here on Instagram, let me know. If any of you guys are here on Instagram, I would highly advise you to go follow me. If you haven't done so already, I'll drop it in the comments. Go follow me there. Boom. So I need hair to look exactly. I need the hair to look like I don't see it. I don't see it. But I'm there on Instagram. So if y'all want to follow me on there, I post stuff all the time. I'm always on there. I'm pretty easy to get a hold of on there most of the time. Or I just dropped the link. So the link's up there, but it's at Just a Kid from Dania. And you'll see the Millhouse picture on there when you go on there. But yeah, man, get your questions in. Comments, thoughts, concerns. F it. I didn't plan on being live for 2.5 hours, but y'all have me so fired up. Y'all have me so charged up. I figure, you know what? Let's extend this shit to 3 hours. So we'll go 30 more minutes and then we'll call it a day because we gotta eat. We gotta eat at some point. I'm getting hungry from talking. Where is Bart? I don't know. Bart. I don't look like him. I look like Millhouse. I look like Millhouse apparently. I don't look like Bart. Breakdown Crawford versus Porter. That's a good fight, man. I actually ran into Sean Porter just the other night. Shout out to Sean Porter. Sean Porter, true warrior of the sport, and an absolute gentleman and a scholar. But it's a good fight. I think Sean Porter obviously has the reputation for being a guy that comes forward and bulldoze people, and he does. That's his bread and butter. That's who he is in that boxing ring. But he has improved his boxing skills a little bit. So I truthfully feel like he will try to early in the fight, he's going to try to outbox Crawford. I know it sounds crazy, but I think he will. And then I think in the middle rounds, when he finds out that it's not going to work, he's going to throw caution to the wind. And then that's when Crispin comes with Crawford. I think Crawford counter punches him. I think Crawford gets his respect in the middle rounds. And I think towards the later rounds, he walks him down. Whether he stops him or not, I don't know, because Porter's extremely durable. But whether it's a stoppage or whether it goes to the cards, I see Terrence Crawford getting his hand raised. That's my mini breakdown. But I'll give you a better breakdown when the fight gets closer. BT Boots versus Bud. Break it down truthfully. It's a good fight. Good fight. It's really good fight for Crawford. Interesting fight for Crawford because Crawford, the advantages that Crawford always has in fights is that he's more versatile than his opponents, and he's longer than his opponents, and he's more skilled than his opponents. And this is probably the first time in his career, if that fight ever happened, where he's not bigger, he's not longer, and he's not more versatile than his opponents. If you want to switch hit, Boots can switch hit. If you want to try to outbox him, Boots got longer reach. If he wants to exchange, Boots got power just like him. So I really feel like in that fight, the boxing IQ of Crawford will be tested. I like Crawford, and for my money right now, until proven otherwise, he is still the number one welterweight in the world. But Boots is coming, and he's coming quickly and swiftly. And it's hard. It's hard to say right now. It really is, because there's still, as much as I like Boots and as highly as I think of him, I still have some questions about him. I really do. I got to see that chin get tested. I got to see a fight for Boots where he goes more than 6 rounds. Because fun fact, if you guys didn't know this, Jaron Ennis has never gone past the 6th round his entire career. So when I see Boots go past the 6th round, it'll be a lot easier to talk about because I'll know, what kind of fighter he is in the later rounds. He doesn't strike me as a fighter who's a front runner. He strikes me as a fighter who's very well conditioned. But Jaron Boots Ennis versus Crawford is a great fight. And I like that fight. I think Crawford's smart enough to knock out Ennis, and I think Ennis is definitely smart enough to knock out Crawford. And we've seen Crawford get pieced up by smaller fighters and get taken some deep dark places. So it's hard for me to say right now who would win because I don't know enough about Boots yet. The Puerto Rican Millhouse, yeah, man, we'll go with that. Millhouse gets bitches, so I like Millhouse. Stay longer, BT. Well, yeah, you got me for about 25 more minutes, and then I'm gonna get up on out of here because I think 3 hours. That's a solid level. It's a solid level. Do you think Porter comes out boxing like did against Ugas or fight like I think he'll come out boxing. I truly think he will early in the fight. Do you think Barrios would do good against Boots, and at what weight? I don't like that fight at all for Barrios, to be honest. Barrios is good. Barrios is long. Barrios is durable. Maybe that could be a fight because I know Barrios is a welterweight now, and I think he's even ranked in one of the sanctioning bodies. Barrios, I just want to see a fight for Boots where a guy can take him past the 6th round. Take Boots past the 6th round. If once I see that, I'll be happy. So I think he could be the guy to do it. But as we've seen before, if you give Jerron Boots Ennis an inch, he's gonna take 10 miles. You know what I'm saying? So you can't do these things with Jerron Ennis. You got to be on your P's and Q's. You got to be defensively sound. You got to make him get your respect as soon as humanly possible. You know what I'm saying? So I like that fight only for the fact that I think Barrios might be able to take him past the 6th round. And at the end of the day, that's what I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see Boots go past the 6th round, so I can see what he looks like in those championship rounds, them later rounds. Because we ain't really seen him. We ain't even really seen him in them rounds yet. We haven't. So that's what it is. Let's go, champ. But it's the untouchable True School Sports Empire. It's the Las Vegas. It's the Las Vegas Marathon. We're here in Sin City, in the fight capital, the home to many fighters, the home of our big fight this weekend with Plant and Canelo. It's going to be a momentous occasion. Something really to watch. See, Boots got the goods, but I still edge Spence and Crawford. Didn't Spence call Ennis a pup? He did call him a pup. I think Boots will beat the shit out of Spence. I don't think Spence wants that. If Spence is already getting his eye socket broken and things like this in sparring, the last thing he needs to do is be fighting Jerron Ennis. Hell nah. He don't need that in his life. He needs a lot of things in his life. I'm sure he needs food. He needs clothing. He needs shelter. He needs to go feed his chickens and ride his horses on his ranch. He needs to do a lot of things in his life. But one thing he don't need to be doing is fighting Jerron Boots Ennis. That will be the – mark my words. If they fight, that will be his last fight. He'll get retired. Danny Garcia versus Boots. Love that fight. I love that fight because that's a great measuring stick. Former world champion Danny Garcia, fellow Philadelphia fighter, and a guy that's never been dropped in his career. Forget getting knocked out. Danny Garcia has never touched the canvas. So I feel like if Boots could stop Danny Garcia, man, what a statement that would be. So I'm thinking next year, I would like to see PBC, Al Heyman, and all parties involved come out the box swinging and make this fight with Jerron Ennis and Danny Garcia in Philadelphia. Give the Philadelphia boxing fans who have supported the sport and been one of the big lifebloods of the sport in America. Give them a great hometown fight. Let Boots fight Danny in a big fight in Philadelphia. And that'd be something special to watch. And if Boots can knock out Danny Garcia or stop him in any sort of way, for a fact you got yourself a superstar fighter of the highest order on your hands. That's my opinion. Bud Crawford gets Boots out of there quickly for a fighter who's never been past 6 rounds. Well, that's what I'm saying. I think he needs a bit more experience with Crawford, but I think he'll beat the shit out of Spence right now. If Spence were to fight Boots, like in his condition right now with the eye socket, ring inactivity, I know it's been 10 months since he boxed. So let's just say hypothetically, if they were to fight, he'd be coming off a year layoff. Box Talk 101. Shout out to my main man, 50 grand. Freddie, make sure you guys go subscribe to him, run his shit all the way up. If you haven't subscribed, go over there and help him get those numbers up. Freddie's a great guy. He's giving you guys good content. He sometimes even, he got the lives with like Sadisa Estrada on there. He's got some great stuff on his channel. He's got the freaking fights. He uploads a lot of fights. So go a good source for boxing information and content. But he said, my boy, I'm sure I'm late, but I thought I'd check in. LOL, I missed you in Vegas. Yo, I commented on your channel, champ. I said, where Freddie, you here? I never got no response, man. I was at City Athletic. I saw Rolly's train. I met Rolly. I was hoping to see you there. I didn't see you there. So, it is what it is. I'll see you when I see you, man. But by the way, Freddie, are you going to be in Las Vegas for the Canelo fight or the Michaela Mayer fight or what you would call it, the Crawford Porter fight? Because if you're in Vegas anytime from now to the 26th of November, I'll definitely be I'll be here, and we could definitely meet up, man. I was hoping to get the collab video, the in-person collab video that I like to do with YouTubers who I respect in boxing, but when the time is right, things will happen. So it is what it is. Ennis versus Garcia, Philly really is the fight to make. It makes perfect sense for both fighters, and will be the ultimate measuring stick for both. Absolutely, and like I said, if he can stop a guy like Danny Garcia, who's never hit the canvas. Think about that. Danny Garcia's never hit the canvas, and he's been in there with some punches. He's been in there with all the elites. He's been in there with like Thurman. He's been in there with Porter. Been in there with Matisse. Been in there with Khan. He's been in there with some fighters, man, and he's never touched the canvas. I can't even think of too many times where he's been hurt. Like, he's very durable. Got 6 toes. Got a granite chin. Hard guy to beat. Harder guy to look good against, and a damn near impossible guy to stop. So. I love your work. Been grinding for years. Hopefully, we can work together one day. Romeo dates. I see he's got boxing glove emojis. You have a YouTube channel? You might need to inform me a bit more about your comments. But I appreciate the love, man. I appreciate all the loyal people that have been watching me for years, man. We put a lot into covering the sport of boxing, I appreciate being appreciated, man. Who doesn't appreciate being appreciated? God bless you, man. Yeah, Danny got that hook, but Boots is something else. I love to see it. I love to see it too, man. We got to push for that fight. BT, have you heard of H Money's YouTube channel? It's a war room for boxing talk. Yeah, I'm very familiar with H Money. H Money is a great friend of mine. We talk Instagram. H Money is a great person. I love H Money. He's actually been trying to get me on his channel for the longest time. I just have listen, man. There's so many channels that I want to go on and collab with. I haven't had the time, especially here in Vegas. I barely have time to call my friends and family because I'm so busy all the time. Like right now, when I do these lives, this would be considered free time, but it's not really free time because I'm spending it talking to you guys. But I enjoy it. Yeah, there's so many channels that I want to collab with in the next couple months. I mean, Punch Drunk Boxing, H Money, ITR Boxing was probably my favorite YouTube channel beside myself right now in boxing because I love that he talks about everything. Like, he talks about everything. There's no topic in boxing he won't talk about. That's why I like his channel, even though he don't have the most views. I love his channel, and I would highly recommend anybody watching this live to subscribe to ITR Boxing. But yeah, there's a lot of channels I want to collab with. I just gotta find some time. I just gotta find some time, man. Because at the end of the, I'm really like I'm a one man show. Really, I got a lot. I have a lot of content, so it's like I'm doing everything really. So, Wacky Movie Clip says, BT, do you mess with Showbiz? His channel is pretty good. He speaks the truth from what I've seen. I don't really watch. Like, I've watched videos of his in the past. I am familiar with I am familiar with Showbiz's content. Very energetic, very entertaining. Loves the sport of boxing, doing a great job. Blew up quick. So I listen. I'm no hater of any man's success. God bless him, and may he continue to blow up and do this thing. If it's gonna bring more fans for if his channel is going to bring more fans to boxing, then I'm okay with that. And the same thing goes for my channel. If my fans are going to bring more fans to boxing, that only benefits the channels that are smaller than mine. You know what I'm saying? No, he's good. I like Showbiz. Cool guy. Yes, I've been boxing for a while and just started a boxing channel. I'm getting back in shape, and I've been invited to spar with Sean Owens, a tall fighter who fought Sebastian Verdura a couple years ago. Absolutely, man. That's great. That's great stuff, man. And keep training, keep doing hard, keep training hard. Yeah, man. I'm getting back in shape myself, man. I'm actually but before this live, the only reason I'm even live right now is because I was supposed to spar Angelo Leo today, and I was supposed to spar Paul Ponce, who was another professional fighter. And I don't believe this, but like they were saying, like he was with them today, but I was hearing that Nonito Donaire might even be there sparring one day, so I might even get around to it Donaire. which is gonna be crazy because I've watched on there on TV for so long. But it don't matter. Listen, once you get in that ring, you put those gloves on. Fuck how many world titles you want. We coming for blood. But yeah, man. I'll be sparring probably Friday, so I'm excited about that. I'm excited to get back in shape. Get the testosterone flowing. Showbiz is good, but he doesn't really break down fights. He's kind of mainstream YouTube boxing talk. Yeah, look, everybody's got their niche. For me, I make no apologies. This is a hard. If you're someone who really loves the sport of boxing, that is interested in learning about the sport of boxing and interested in having a great dialogue about the sport of boxing and watching some world-class interviews as well, then this is the channel for you. It's not for everybody. It's not for casuals that are looking for narratives. It's a boxing channel in the purest form. And to spar Jamal, James, D, and Merrill Jr., they all fight in Minneapolis, Minnesota together. Hopefully I do good and make a name. Hey, absolutely, man. God bless you. I'm on the same boat as you, champ. I'm going to be sparring probably Friday against the former world champion, Angelo Leo. He's a good friend of mine, but when we get in that ring, we ain't friends no more. So I'm looking forward to sparring him. I really feel like I'm ready for it. I'm excited about it too, man. I'm really, really, really excited about it. And who knows, man? You don't know what could happen, man. I might make a name for myself. I might find another stream of income. You just don't know. I'm a southpaw who can move. I got good footwork. I can punch a little bit. I think I could be someone they want to bring in camp. We might get a freaking another stream of income. You know what I'm saying? Really, them some great names to spar with. I'm glad to see you working, and thank you for acknowledging me. Absolutely. I God bless everybody. I appreciate everybody that comes to the lives and comments, man. Because listen, at the end of the day, yes, I've got a couple million views and some subscribers and stuff. But at the end of the day, like, who am I, man? We're all people. We're all people trying to make it in life. We're all trying to accomplish our dreams, and we're taking it one day at a time. And I'm just a down to earth person. I love everybody here. Whether you agree with me, love me, it's cool. You get down like that, BT, what would be your fighting weight? I mean, like, when I spar Angelo, he'll easily be the best fighter I've ever, the most accomplished fighter I've ever sparred, and the biggest name fighter I sparred. All the fighters that I've sparred in the past have all been like local professional fighters that you guys wouldn't know about. Like, I sparred when I first started boxing, I sparred a fighter named Gabriel Chacon. He has it. I don't think he's even won a fight as a pro yet. I think he's like 0-2 or 0-3. But he's a good fighter. Like, I don't understand why he can't win a fight. I think he's got a mental block. But I used to spar with him all the time. And when I was sparring with him, he was fighting in the Golden Gloves. He fought Tifio Lopez in the Golden Gloves around the time when I used to spar him. I sparred him. I sparred another kid named Ryan Jones, who turned pro last year. He's 2-0. He just won a second fight. So shout out to Ryan Jones. I sparred this other kid in Texas this year. He was really good. Moses Molina. He was big, strong kid. Sparred him. I haven't really sparred any names you guys would know. Angelo Leo is probably the first name I sparred you guys would really know about. So looking forward to it. You see, do you have boxing shoes? What brand? I have Everlast. I have red Everlast shoes. Those are the red the Everlast boxing joints. True School Sports is the best boxing channel on YouTube, in my opinion, and I follow the sport religiously for years. BT covers it all. Great interviews, great breakdowns, goes live for almost all the fights. Yeah, and I'm one man, so listen, y'all don't understand. I'm 26 years old. I got a lot of energy. I put it into this. It's well received for the most part, and yeah, I'll tell you this. I'm gonna tell you guys this. I'm gonna tell you here's some interviews that I've done that I haven't dropped yet, but are gonna come out this week, that you guys can look forward to. So here's 5 interviews I've done. I interviewed Mike McCallum this week. Last week, I interviewed Mike McCallum, Liam Paro, who's ranked top 3 in the IBF and WBO at 140. I interviewed him from Australia. Interviewed Lydell Rhodes. Some of you guys may remember Lydell Rhodes. He fought Edward Cherry on PBC Toe Tuesday. I interviewed him. Interviewed Quantavious Cash. Interviewed the tough 1970s/1980s gatekeeper Ignacio De La Rosa, who fought Marlon Starling, I think he fought Donald Curry, Kevin Howard, a lot of fighters. So those are the only interviews I've done so far since I've been in Vegas. I'm gonna do more, probably starting tomorrow when I go to Salah's Boxing Academy, and it's a beautiful time in life. Why don't you train boxing every day? Because I'm not disciplined. That's why. And I'm not disciplined. Like I'm not. Like that's just the reality of it. I'm not a very disciplined person, but I'm a talented fighter. But like I'm just not disciplined. I get caught up covering boxing, and then that takes up a lot of time, and then it's hard. It's excuses, but we're getting better. We're getting better. That's all I can say. We're getting better, champ. We're getting better. The biggest name I sparred a couple years ago when he was about to turn pro was Hector Tanahara. That's a good name to have on your resume. Tanahara was a good fighter. Who did he lose to? I know he lost to somebody. Is he undefeated, or am I getting him confused with Alexis Rocha? I think I might be getting him confused. I think he's still undefeated. He's probably like 20 and something. Golden Boy prospect Hector Tanahara. I know Hector Tanahara from San Antonio. One of the many fighters coming out of San Antonio right now. You got him coming out of San Antonio. You got Mario Barrios coming out of San Antonio. You got who's the other guy? Him, Mario Barrios, Hector Tanahara, Joshua Franco, Issa Maria Kino, who by the way I like Issa Maria Kino. She's an attractive woman. Yeah, he lost to William Cepeda. That's what he lost to. Cepeda. Yeah, so he's 22-1. He's 22-1. Yeah, but I'll be the first one to say it. Like I'm honest with myself. Like I haven't been disciplined. Like I'm not the most disciplined person when it comes to like exercising and going outside. I love Kool-Aid. I love Oreos. I love Gushers. I love to eat Del Taco. I love all that unhealthy shit. But I drink a lot of water too. But I'm just like I don't like doing the same thing over and over again. Like this is probably one of the only things I like to do over and over again. But we'll see, man. We'll see how the sparring goes on Friday, and I'll let you guys know what happened and how we did and what the impressions were and all that stuff. Ben Rodriguez, yeah, he sparred Ben Rodriguez. Izzy Barrios, good. Hey, shout out to Izzy Barrios. He says new subscriber here. Hey, appreciate you, champ. I appreciate all my subscribers, new and old. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the home of boxing, the untouchable True School Sports Empire. If you're new to the channel, I would highly advise you to definitely go to the interview archive. We got lots of stuff on there with Riddick Bowe, Holyfield, and the list goes on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? A lot of great interviews through the year. So definitely go check those out. Tank is gonna crush Isaac Cruz. Be real. I mean, I don't know if you missed what I said earlier, but I think it'll be an entertaining fight for as long as it lasts. But I think I agree with you. We're not disagreeing with you, champ. I think he'll beat the brakes off Isaac Cruz. Isaac Cruz throws a punch at the same speed all the time. That's what it is. He'll get figured out really quick. And I've sparred a couple of pros, but the biggest names I sparred is Curtis Hill Jr. He fought Ali Akhmedov and was supposed to fight Anthony Sims Jr. Okay, so yeah, you're an experienced little fighter, Romeo. Okay, I respect it, man. Keep grinding, keep getting all the experience, man. Like if you go to the gym and get your ass kicked, who cares? Like it's all experience. Like you get better. Even like Keith Thurman. What was it? Keith Thurman did an interview one time, and he was talking about how when he was a young fighter, he would spar people all the time, and they whoop his ass, and he jump in the ring with them again. They whoop his ass, and then he jump in the ring with them again, and then they whoop his ass, and then he would jump up in the ring with them again, until one day Keith Thurman improved, became one-time Thurman. So it's all learning experience. Keep improving. Did I see Mary McGee versus Chantel Cameron? If you want my honest opinion, yeah, I saw the first 4 rounds, and then after that, I took a dump because I already knew what kind of fight it was going to be. I knew Chantel Cameron was going to win. Mary McGee came out kind of strong, but then her punches got real loopy and she got real sloppy. So I just knew Chantel Cameron was going to beat her, and she did. It was whatever. Like it was a whatever fight. BT, who do you got in the Fulton versus Figueroa fight? Both are undefeated. I got Stephen Fulton. I don't think Figueroa is going to bring anything that Fulton hasn't already seen. Fulton's already fought the Mexican pressure style so many times. Whether it's Adam Lopez, whether it's Angelo Leo, who, by the way, I think is a better fighter than Figueroa. He's seen it. He's been able to conquer it. I think this will be no different. But it'll be a good fight. I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of new wrinkles and tweaks to his game plan Brandon Figueroa will bring to the table. Mariah Carey is the sexiest woman alive. Do you agree, fella? Absolutely not. Maybe at a point in time she was, like in 2004, but damn sure not now. You listen, if anybody who knows me, anyone who knows BT, Brendan Nelson Taylor, the untouchable True School Sports, Empire, anybody who knows me, Justin Kid from Dania, everyone knows why I think the sexiest woman alive is. And that's the WBA, was it WBA 105-pound champion, WBO 108-pound champion, fucking Sneesa Estrada. That's what we're going with, champ. I like Sneesa Estrada, so I'm gonna respectfully disagree with you. But in her prime, Mariah Carey was a very, very, very attractive woman. Brandon might knock Fulton's socks off. Well, good. I hope he does, bro. Freaking, I don't like Stephen Fulton. He beat my friend. So listen, I want Figueroa to beat Fulton, but being unbiased and taking my feelings out of it, I just think Fulton's the better fighter. And I think on the night he'll have the better game plan and he'll win. Shout out to my guy Chase Analytics. He said, yeah, Sneesa Estrada, man, absolutely. One of the best fighters in boxing, not just women's boxing, but in boxing, one of the smartest fighters in boxing, and equally as easy on the eye. Beterbiev versus Marcus Brown. Does Brown have anything left to trouble Beterbiev, or is he getting flattened out? It's a good fight. Brown's a southpaw, athletic, can box. My only thing is when Beterbiev puts that pressure on Marcus Brown, okay, and he turns up the heat on Marcus Brown, does Marcus Brown have the mental fortitude to hold his ground and hit him with something to get his respect? I'm not so sure. Based on what I've seen in the past of Marcus Brown, I'm not a big believer. So I think it could be a tricky fight early for Beterbiev, but I think he breaks him down in the later rounds and gets him out of there. What about my boy from LBC last Saturday? Who are you referring to, Martin Villegas? And by the way, shout out to C. Martin Villegas. Listen, Martin Villegas, he's a OG. Been commenting on these videos. He's been watching the channel for a long time. So shout out to Martin Villegas out there in Cali. Yeah, he be my friend. You damn right, man. Like I don't hate him or nothing like that. I'm upset. I'm upset because I don't know, man. Y'all can tell me, but like Stephen Fulton's never been a fighter that has a big like he's been hurt before, and you see him fade in fights, and you seen him with Adam Lopez. You seen it in a couple fights. And all of a sudden, he fights Angelo Leo. He gets crushed. He gets hit with some bone-crushing body shots, and all of a sudden, he just can take body shots, and he doesn't get tired, and he's standing up in between the rounds. Like it was just crazy. Something just seemed off. Like it's just crazy. Yeah, I was there. I was there in the flesh. I thought the same thing. It was a travesty that they gave the fight to Gaio Estrada. But Gaio's a great fighter. I like Gaio. I think Gaio's one of the best fighters in the world. And I'm looking forward to the third fight. Brown was cool, man. Listen, I know a lot of people were high on Marcus Brown, but I really wasn't. I was never really high on Marcus Brown. I truthfully wasn't high on Marcus Brown. Marcus Brown, when he fought Hot Rod, that dude, Radovice, whatever his name is, the dude he fought on the Spence Adriano card, I thought he got a good decision against him. And I really haven't seen like a ton of growth since that fight. So he's just there. He's one of the fighters to me is just there. What do you think about Money Powell? I like Money Powell. Money Powell's a good fighter. I feel like Money Powell, he's kind of like in a way, not as far as his boxing style or anything like that, but as far as the business side of boxing, I feel like Money Powell was kind of like Demetrius Andrade in a way, because Demetrius Andrade made a stupid decision signing with Rock Nation and Banner Promotions, and that kind of put a hole in his career. And the same thing happened with the same exact thing happened with Money Powell. He signed with Ringstar Sports, which was like the Probellum of 4 years ago. Same person, Richard Schaefer, same person. He signed with Ringstar Sports, and he really his career got like stagnated right out the gate. And the same thing happened to Carlos Balderas. That's why these guys are kind of playing catch up now. I feel like if Money Powell would have been moved and active, he'd be at a better level now. But a good fighter, really explosive, can punch. I like what Money Powell is bringing to the table. He's one of those fighters where sometimes I forget about him because it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. And I wish I'd see more of him. I like Money Powell. Cholatito versus Estrada was not a robbery. It could have gone either way. No, it was a robbery. Cholatito won that fight. It was a close fight that was a clear win. It was like I had it 116, 112 Cholatito. There were some swing rounds you could give to Gaio, but I thought Cholatito won the fight. It was clear. I thought the wrong man won. I got gloves signed by Cholatito and Quadras. Hey, shout out to you, man. Those are two absolutely amazing fighters that I have the utmost respect for. Richard Schaefer is putting in that ring. What do you mean by that? And no, Qualand. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. I don't want to butcher your name, but no, I don't say. I don't think Porter will beat Crawford. Obviously it's possible. Porter's a quality fighter, but no. I think Crawford just too good for him. I'm a big Crawford fan. Shout out to Double OZTV. He says, been following him for years. What do you think about him and Ennis? Everybody, that's the question for this week. And look, I'm gonna tell y'all this, man. Jaron Ennis, he's the guy. Like, to me, he's the guy to beat Terrence Crawford. If there was a guy looking at welterweight that is the guy to beat Terrence Crawford, it's definitely Boots. He's got the tools. He's probably the only fighter in the weight class in boxing that is taller than Crawford, can match in versatility, is more athletic, can punch just as hard, if not hard. The only area he might be lacking is professional experience, but that's gonna come with time. So, Terrence Crawford ain't safe. Boots can fuck around and beat Crawford. But the same thing I say about Boots beating Crawford, I also say about Josh Taylor beating Crawford. So there's definitely some good fights out there for Crawford. I'm gonna rewatch Cholatito versus Guy. Yeah, do that, champion. Let me know what you think. If Canelo were to beat old Benavidez, is it a valid win or is not because he's old? Nah, I give him credit because he's going a light heavyweight. He's beating a guy that's got a 100% knockout ratio, who's knocked out legitimate fighters. I just think the fight is like a great style. It's a perfect style matchup in favor of Canelo. So that's why I don't think Benavidez beat him. But of course, I give him credit because I don't think he'd ever go to light heavyweight and fight him. To be honest, even though I think he should because I think he'll beat him. That's crazy. Wait, for real? Well, I saw that. Where's that? Chase Athletic says, you know what's crazy? I saw Fulton running late night maybe a month ago. That's great. Philadelphia, small world, man. Shout out to Fulton. You know, it seemed like half of Philadelphia was at the damn Jaron Ennis fight. You couldn't walk through the Mandalay Bay without seeing one of those blue Jaron Ennis shirts. Would Virgil Ortiz versus Crawford be a competitive a year from now? I think Virgil Ortiz versus Crawford could be a competitive fight right now. Now, Virgil Ortiz beating Crawford, that's a whole different proposition. But it being competitive, I think that could be right now. Virgil's passed all of the tests that he's asked to pass it with flying colors, and he's got the strength, the power that he showed last fight against Kavaluski. He showed an excellent power jab. So I don't see why he couldn't give Crawford some problems and take that man to some deep, dark, uncomfortable places. You know, if Kavaluskis could take Crawford to some deep, dark, uncomfortable places, then we can't rule out what Virgil Ortiz could do in that kind of a scenario. You know what I'm saying? But it's your boy BT, the untouchable True School Sports Empire. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Take the time to hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. You know, super chat, like, all that stuff. Double OZ with the compliment. He said, big love to your channel, bro. You're doing a great job. I'm a fan. My last question. What do you think of Shakur and Valdez? Absolutely. I appreciate that, champ. I appreciate you, Double OZ. Shout out to you with the visor. With the visor backwards. Keeping it old school. He says, Shakur versus Valdez. Good fight. You know. Now Valdez has his things about him where, you know, people say he's on that Canelo stake, he's on PEDs, whatever, but all that aside, you know, Valdez is a big, strong fighter. Valdez is tough as nails. Valdez has a good left hook. He knows how to win dog fights. Valdez knows how to just do a lot of things in the ring. Experienced fighter, experienced Mexican amateur. You know, Valdez is a fighter that's coming through with some credentials, but as we saw in his last fight with the Brazilian Robinson Conceição, he can be outboxed, he can be outslugged, he can be a lot of things. You just have to have the tools to do it. And I really feel like Shakur Stevenson's got more than enough tools to do it. And I really think that Bob Arum, Top Rank Boxing, and all parties involved are delaying the inevitable outcome of Shakur Stevenson beating the brakes off Oscar Valdez. So if you want to know what I think about that fight, I think Shakur Stevenson will beat the shit out of Oscar Valdez. Honestly. Yeah, man. Oof. Oh, Josh Taylor beats them all. Yeah, I love me some Josh Taylor. I think Josh Taylor can beat anybody in the world. He's capable. He's capable. He has the skills and the ability to beat anybody at welterweight, anybody at 140. You can name them. You know, I think Boots. I'll tell you this: if Boots could beat Josh Taylor like the way he beat Delorme or anything close to it, then Gervonta is the greatest fighter of all time. I don't want to hear it. I want to see that fight. I want to see Gervonta Ennis versus Josh Taylor. What do y'all think about Gervonta Ennis versus Josh Taylor? If Shakur tries to fight Valdez like Herring, he's getting beat. Man, Valdez don't want that smoke, man. Valdez gonna fight. I mean, listen, man, he better not lose his next fight against Navarrete. Tank versus Haney is a good fight. That's a tough fight because I feel like both fighters are prone. That's like a 50-50. I feel like both fighters are prone to the other fighter's best strength. So like Devin Haney, I think, I know he's never been knocked out or dropped, but I really think he's if he fights the wrong fighter, he's a knockout loss waiting to happen. And then I think the same thing when it comes to Tank. I think Tank could be outboxed. So if I had to take a guess, I would actually go with Haney. I think Devin Haney wins a tough split decision over Tank. You know? Yeah, Top Rank got the best matchmakers. I mean, Top Rank is so good at matchmaking. They sometimes I used to think FAI Jogbo was not that good. Then Top Rank put him in with the right opponents. He got 2 knockouts, and I thought FAI Jogbo was legit. And then FAI Jogbo came back to form when he fought Frank Sanchez. Yeah, Ennis is big. I mean, Ennis is pushing about what? Ennis is 5'10". Let me see. What's Josh Taylor? How tall is Josh Taylor? Josh Taylor got to be like 5'8", 5'9". Josh Taylor's about 5'9", so Josh Taylor's like an inch shorter than Boots. Boots got a big frame for 147, but I think Taylor got a really good frame for 147 too. So I don't think he's that much bigger compared to Taylor. Resume talk is usually done, but I think it applies to Tank and Teofimo. They fought 3 ranked lightweights in a row on the way. Gervonta Davis, I like him. You know, I've seen him fight in person. You know, I love the guy. I think he's fun to watch. I think he's good for boxing, but as far as like the performances he gives, but he's in a witness protection program for boxing. There's no 2 ways about it. Like there's 0 ways about him being in a witness protection program for boxing. You know, Teofimo on the other hand, he's been fighting these guys. He's been fighting these killers, you know, whether it's Nakatani, whether it's Komei, whether it's, you know, Lomachenko, you know, and he's doing his damn thing. So, yeah, you're right. Oh my God, that fight right there. I'm telling you right now, I'm willing to max my damn credit card out or pay, you know, $700. Whatever I gotta do to be at that fight, I'm willing to do it. I mean, that Taylor versus Crawford's an amazing fight. Like I said, BT, resume is more acquainted to experience and seeing different looks, not just names. I agree with that. That's why, like, one of the reasons I say that Evander Holyfield has a better resume than Muhammad Ali is because Evander Holyfield, as a heavyweight, saw more looks than Muhammad Ali. The best wins Muhammad Ali had in his career were like fighters that were there to be hit, like slow plotting fighters, like like George Foreman and Cleveland Williams, and these guys. Obviously you had your Joe Frazier's, you had these guys, but Holyfield was fighting like even towards the end of his career, he's fighting like fucking Chris Bird and James Toney and Riddick Bowe and Lennox. I mean, he fought all kinds of styles in the heavyweight division. That's why I feel like when we talk about resumes in heavyweight boxing, to me, nobody fought more killers than Evander Holyfield. That's just my opinion, though. Because what people do with Holyfield's career is they only remember the prime years. They don't realize that he still fought like 6 or 7 years longer than he should have. He fought the John Ruizes of the world and Chris Birds and James Toney's, and like he was still fighting killers up until the day he was old. Norton, yeah, Ken Norton. He fought some great fighters. Taylor versus Crawford. Then we can see the true 140 undisputed fight. Oh man, that would be something special. I love that fight. That's why I don't overhype fighters that don't have experience because pressure versus price. Well, Jaron Ennis do got experience. He got 28 fights in the professional ranks. He do got experience. He just don't got top level experience, but he got experience. He got, God dang it, he got as many fights as Spence Crawford almost. Do you think Isaac Cruz has a decent chance against Tank? Only for the first 3 to 4 rounds. Honestly, because after Tank picks up on how he throws his shots, he's done. It's curtains. People say Crawford is small, but he has a longer reach than most of the top welterweights, including Spence. Taylor wouldn't have any issues at 140. I don't think so. I think people. I don't know why people are already writing off Josh Taylor at 147, and I just don't see it. I feel like Josh Taylor has the quality and the skills to become a 2-weight world champion. I'll tell you this: if he win a welterweight world title, it's not even a debate. Because right now it's still kind of a debate if he's better than Ken Buchanan. But if he win a welterweight title, it's not even a debate. He's the best fighter to ever come out of Scotland, and it's not even close. That's right. Martin Viegas is speaking the truth. Plus, the real deal fought with the most high by his side. Glory to God in Jesus' name. That's right. And that's why I knew when Evander Holyfield fought Vitor Belfort and he didn't come out to gospel music, I knew he was going to get fucked up. Because Evander Holyfield without gospel music ain't Evander Holyfield. Josue Vargas got some experience on Saturday. You're damn right. Got some experience eating that damn canvas. You're not lying. You're not lying, champ. You're not lying. If Taylor beats Crawford, he's pound. You know what? I'll tell you this. There's not a lot of guys that can surpass Usyk right now because I think Usyk's just done so much in his career, and he's on a great track. But I'll tell you this. That's probably one of the fights where, like, if Crawford beats Taylor or Taylor beats Crawford, that's one of the fights where you can start to argue they're pound for pound number one. And Ben Adams is right. Regis Prograis will still give anybody a problem, and I agree with that. Regis Prograis, one of the best 140-pounders out there. I don't know if he's going to be a welterweight now, but wherever he's at, I still think he's got a lot of quality to give this great sport of boxing. So, yeah, shout out to Regis Prograis, an absolute warrior of the sport. Man, when Holyfield came out singing that gospel music against Tyson for the first fight, I knew Mike was about to get fucked up bad. Yeah, bro. That's why I knew when I saw Evander Holyfield against Vitor Belfort. Obviously, he was old, but when I saw him have this dazed and confused look on his face, and he coming out to rap music. Listen, man, I've interviewed Holyfield on this channel. He told me himself he don't even like rap music, so he came out to rap music. I'm like, why are you coming out to rap music? You're not gonna beat Vitor Belfort coming out the rap music. You got to come out to that gospel. You got to come out to them black gospel classics like "We Fall Down, but We Get Up." You got to come out to that. If he ain't coming out to shit like that, we ain't being nobody. Let me see. Respect to Josue, brother Boricuas. I know have infinity love for family. Absolutely. Hey, I'll be honest with you. I never liked Josue Vargas. I never cared for him. I thought he was always a knockout loss waiting to happen. I'm kind of glad Zepeda did it because I saw him fight in person earlier this year. He fought some nobody and was getting clipped. And then when Josh Taylor won his undisputed title, he goes on Twitter. He starts talking shit to Josh Taylor. He starts saying that he will take the belts off Josh Taylor and I'll expose you and this, that, and the third. I'm like, yo, shut up, man. You are not Josh Taylor. You haven't even won a world title. You haven't even won a world title, and then you fight a guy who challenged for a world title, and you get fucked up in a round. So, like Zepeda said, there's levels to him. There's levels of boxing. Wilder versus AJ. What are your thoughts? Do you think AJ has a legit chance to win against Usyk? I'll be honest with you, man. I thought he had one until I heard his interview, man. He looks confused. He sounds dazed and confused about the direction of his boxing career. He's talking about, I want to learn from all these different trainers, all this different stuff, but he just sounds confused. He really do sound confused, and I think he'll get fucked up probably next fight. Now, Wilder Joshua, good fight. Love that fight. Two vulnerable fighters. A fight that should have happened a while ago. Make that shit happen. I still want to see it. But listen, guys, on that note, look, I gotta eat, man. I gotta eat and take care of some other things. Listen, man, we've had a 3 hour Monday night special. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know Dave Benavidez enjoyed it. He's like, guys, True School Sports is a great channel. He's fucking talking about the real fucking boxing. He's not like these other channels out there. David Benavidez is gonna give you guys the outro. He's like, True School Sports, he's a real channel, man. He's not a push like these other fighters. He wants to talk about the real boxing, and he's giving the real interviews, man. So you gotta follow my guy, True School. Follow BT. He's a great guy. But yeah, I'm gonna end the live on that note, guys. Check out all the content. There's gonna be about 5 or 6 interviews dropping this week, added on top of whatever we get from our gym visit tomorrow at the Salas Boxing Academy. So tune in, continue to support the channel. Have a good night. God bless. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just kidding from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.